We're going to be cooking up some gammon today. Now we're going to be roasting this gammon, and what we're going to do is get some really nice diamond shapes.
Hello there.
Now, are you sitting comfortably? Good. Then we'll begin.
I call again for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, the return of the sausages, the hostages, and a recommitment to the two-state solution.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
gets the people going.
It's
no, that's enough! Why do you...
They're the Free Wales Army, Lana.
Yeah, that's right, David. Good lad.
Leg hurts.
Yes, it will do, Dav. You've been shot.
My name is Jeff.
I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
Well, what are you waiting for?
I don't know. Something amazing, I guess.
Me too, kid.
This is a safe place. It's a place where we can feel free sharing our feelings. Think of my office as a nest in a tree of trust and understanding. We can say anything here.
Anything.
I like turtles.
What is it? Supine protoplasmic invertebrate jellies.
Look at him. He runs like a Welshman. Doesn't he? Doesn't he run like a Welshman?
Yo!
Well, blinking, blinking, blimey. How are we?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Only just. Oh, well, no, I can hear you, but it is pretty quiet because I'm on the phone.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Don't worry about it. We've got a few mic issues with your new laptop, but we're hoping to have them sorted quite soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't. We'll have a whole like.
It's very quiet. Yeah.
Am I right? So let me ask the chat: is it my dad's phone, or am I quiet to you guys as well? Let's get the tech stuff out of the way with now, and then hopefully we'll all be golden.
Is it me? Is it me? Is it me again?
Can anyone in the chat hear me? To be honest with you, Dad, can you ask him as well? Just
okay, guys. If you can hear us in the chat, which I hope that Andrew says we both sound fine. We'll have to accept that then as a truth.
Okay. We will. We'll have to. Yep. There you go. We've got 3 for 3. There we go. Look at that, Dan. Both sounding fine. All right, then. That's awesome, then. Yeah, it's just Dad who's deaf. You're going to have to put that phone to your head. Try not to press anything with your cheek. Oh, just listen. But let's get this show started. Let's have a look. In at first place to claim the points half an hour before the show starts. If you don't know and you're new here, when we schedule a stream, we try and leave enough time so that half an hour before the stream starts, the first 3 people to comment get points. So the first person, which is Michael in this instance, gets 10 points. The second person, who is Katie in this instance, gets 5 points, and it's all going on the scoreboard. And last but not least, we've got 2 points for MZ. And they are the top 3 that are getting theirs. Also, Andrew says, I would like participation points because I'm a very nice man. You do have points on the board already, so I'm going to deduct 2 points for being cheeky. No, you can have 2 points for being a nice dude. Why not? We'll chuck that in there as well. And Michael very generously has gifted another couple of Berks membership. Thank you so much, man. That's super kind of you. We really appreciate it. We're loving the support. Let me just have a quick look to see. I'll click on the YouTube side to see who got that. No. Oh, I need to pause that. I hate the sound of my voice in my headphone. Let's have a look. He got New Potatoes. New Potatoes is officially a smelly lefty. Congratulations to you, and thank you very much, Michael. Also, speaking of which, Katie has been a member for a full month, as has Andrew. Look at this. We've got like members that've been members for whole months now. This is our first ever. People can show that they've been members and stuff. This is so cool.
No, that's really cool. Forgive me if I'm not saying much at the moment. I can't actually see a lot with the membership and stuff. But yes, fantastic.
Don't worry. I'll go through it. I'll go through it now. Specs has also said, Dad, that still no bean sprout news. Hey, comrades, hope you are all well.
Wow.
I know this bean sprout is not sprouting at the moment. And yeah, we had bets on it. That's all gone to pot. We're thinking that maybe the baby gets the points. Because I mean they know when they were going to be born, and they're always right. So boom. Or
I think the baby's won all the bets so far.
Pretty much, yeah. Good choice, fellow comrades.
Fantastic, though.
It's
great, though. I'll wish you all the best.
Absolutely, it's going to be awesome. What do points make? Points make fun times. They're fun tokens, kind of like how rich people see money. That's how we see points. They're just fun tokens. They're being kept securely. And do you know what? They mean something. I'll find out what they mean eventually, but they do mean something, right?
Do they? No.
Yeah, they've got to. They mean something. I mean, they're there. They're a thing that exists in the world around you. It's all out there. It's all, it's stuff and things. What have you been up to, though? Before we start the show properly and we go into all the bits and bobs and the various far right and their fucking shenanigans and stuff, what have you been up to, Dad? I haven't had a chance to properly.
I've just been doing.
Chat with you.
I've just been doing what people of my age do in this weather. Just lie down and going, oh God, I can't take it anymore. No, well, yeah, a bit of that. I mean, it's been getting a bit. Sometimes it's been getting a bit hot. But mostly just, enjoying the weather. It's not often we get heat waves in the UK, is it? All said and done.
Not like this. Although, I'm hearing the words new normal quite a lot, and this is something that apparently we can expect thanks to climate change. But
the words what?
You're not worried about it? The
what?
New normal. The new normal.
Oh, it's terrifying, but it's here. What can you do? It's not the future. It's now, isn't it?
We've got a small golden period at the moment whereby we can get the perfect tans.
If I had a large amount of money just now, I'd buy a whole heap of air conditioners and start selling them next summer.
Well, that in itself is a whole, that in itself is a big issue. It generates a lot of power for stuff like that. For those types.
Oh yeah, they're really power hungry. Them things.
Which then in turn contributes to the problems that we have at the moment with how we produce that power.
Especially in the summer when those windmills, the windmills that give you cancer when they're not turning. They do give you cancer. Trump said so.
And do you know what as well? Just stop oil and shit. Maybe they were onto something, the Extinction Rebellion and stuff like that. Maybe, just maybe, those guys were absolutely onto something. And maybe it was worth spraying some paint, on the front of the plastic that covers the Van Gogh painting. Because the reality is the Van Gogh painting is going to be on fire like everything else.
Yeah, it's
maybe
great days. Great days. But the idea is just eat ice cream. Keep your pets cool and eat ice cream.
Swimming is a bit of a problem. Lots of people take into bodies of water in the UK during this fucking horrible heat wave, and I've seen lots of cases of people drowning and stuff. People really need to be safe out there if you are.
Over the last just 2 or 3 years, there's been 100 Londoners drowned. Where the fuck do you drown in London?
I guess is it in London or is it people that
Well, Londoners. I don't know, but it's a lot of people that are drowning, jumping into water that is cold right below the surface, and struggling out. And fresh water is bloody hard to swim in, isn't it? Not like seawater, which is more buoyant.
It does a lot of the floating for you. You get a lot of help from the salt and stuff. The buoyancy.
You do indeed. But so like everybody else, it's been a bit tough sometimes. It's been a bit lovely sometimes. Not too bad today.
How are you doing?
What have you been doing?
How's your health?
That's what I was doing. What have you been doing?
No, and I've been same thing. I've been trying to cool this place down. It's very good at keeping the heat in, and during the winter and stuff like that. It's not very good at letting it out during the summer sometimes. So I've been making lots of adjustments because this is as hot as it's ever been here, like ever. So so I've been making a lot of adjustments, making sure that the dogs. I've become the dog waterer. I water dogs like all day, sometimes several times a day. I'll have to, call the dogs over and then, be like, hey, how's it going? And he's like, oh, why have you got your arm around me? I'm like, here's the hose pipe. And he's like, you're trying to kill me. Like, he thinks
Abe's like that as well. He thinks it's the wand of death.
Oh, absolutely. He's like, he's literally like, I don't know where the rebel bases are. Why would you torture me like this? I'm like,
Do you know what I was doing with Abe? I was having to hold his collar. We were outside with him on the flags, and I'm having to bounce the cold water off the flags and up into his testicles to cool him off.
To get his underside and everything.
Yeah.
With Loki, with Loki, right? He just at the moment he's starting to accept that I'm gonna, when I bring the hose pipe out, I'm gonna, put water on him and stuff, and it does help him, and he does enjoy it afterwards. But I've seen that, like, not only does he just, he sort of stands there and takes it like, fine, I don't know what I've done to upset you, but whatever. And I'm like, no, you're a good dog. And then because of all the clumps in his fur, and because it's that time of year, so endlessly you can brush and do all that with the dog, but they go through like stages of dropping their fur. Huskies are, do you know what? I'll show some images because people don't believe me. That's how bad it can be.
It's
and
incredible,
it isn't
isn't it?
one go. Yeah.
How they just turn dog food into hair. It's incredible.
That's all they use it for. Like, they are like 90% just hair. Let's have a look at this. So, like, this is what happens when huskies blow out and stuff with their fur. Look at this. This is like, it's unbelievable. Huskies, like, I had a picture of my dog, my old dog Lexi, very much like this, in a field where I'd brushed her. I gathered up all the hair and stuff. Don't worry, I'm not a weirdo. But so I did all this, and it was so much of it. When I showed somebody the picture, they were like, oh, wow, look at your husky enjoying the snow. I'm like, that's not snow. That's my dog. That's all those little things there, all that white stuff, that's my dog's hair. It's bad, and it doesn't all come off in one go either. This is like, it comes out in stages and stuff. And so I've learned that what I found is actually, if you've got a husky, this is really helpful, or any sort of double coated dog, whether the undercoat and the long coat come out separately and they come out in clumps, is when you soak them with a hose pipe and stuff, and they're all nice and they're cooling down and all that. When he shakes, all of the clumps are so heavy they just fly out. It's a bit gross because wet hair goes flying everywhere in clumps, but it's it's not a bad. I've learned that. Then in the summertime it cools him down, and when he shakes it knocks off all that hair.
Lovely. A V hair stuck to you. Lovely.
So now, good afternoon, I hope you're well.
Now we bored everyone. Talking about
now we bored everyone. Yeah, we'll get into the show properly in a second. I'm just going to say hello as well to TKE, hottest time ever. What about the end Permian period? Permian period.
What?
Yeah, probably, yeah. That's
yeah. What about that? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
end
this is the
Permian.
hottest time ever.
Of course, the end Permian.
Yeah.
Silly me.
Yeah, of course, it's totally natural,
This is what happens when you get educated people in your fucking chat.
Absolutely. And good afternoon as well, Jim Speak. The glow in the guts. It's good to see you. How you doing?
Oh, I need to leave that alone. I cannot.
How are you doing, Mush? Hope you're good. Right, so we'll crack on with the show. Unless anybody else wants to know what else we've been up to. It's mostly just cooling dogs down.
Yeah, well, that's what it is, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all heat waves are now. Oh, I've also been chilling with the missus a lot. It's been fun. I went to arcades and been doing stuff and things. Took a bit of time off. Also, if you've not noticed, we've had a bit of a gap in streaming. Before we move on, just wanted to address that because I could. I just I took a couple of self-care days and I was like, you know what? I'm just hitting a bit of a wall with writing stuff, and I've got all these amazing people in the Discord and things that are putting out this incredible work. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a couple of days and then I'll come back and see what's been done. Whoa, Dad! We've just been whacked with an incredibly
Oh,
generous...
5 memberships, Crowcrag, you gentlemen.
What an absolute star. Thank you so
Gentlemen,
much.
thank you so much.
Good sir.
We said that in thingy, like we were sisters. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It's almost like you raised me. Let me have a look now. Let me catch up with the chat. Receive gifted membership by Crowcrag to Buzz being you, Max AB Max AB Max, Rick 4271, Lucy Lou. That'll be Earth Angel Lucy. Shout out to you and Beekeeper 1. You've all got yourselves a gifted membership courtesy of the legendary Crowcrag. Thank you so much. And look at that as well. You're so kind about it. A pleasure.
I'd also like to say, yeah, well done. You're really absolutely. And one of the winners, Beekeeper 1. I'm just saying, I love honey. Thank you. Just saying. Just in case he's a real beekeeper. I love it. I would love my own hive. There's a thing. There's a thing you can buy now. A set. You can have an indoor hive. So you basically drill a hole in the wall and you put a perspex pipe in it, and the hive is on the inside behind perspex, and you can watch it all going on. It's a thing, and you can watch everything that's happening. I would love to do that, but it's not my house, and if I drilled a hole in the wall, it might put me out on the street. But I would love that. I would love to do that. I'm insanely jealous of people.
I'm Googling this.
Yeah. I'm insanely jealous of people with beehive. Indoor beehive. They're fantastic.
Whoa, yo, there's some let me share this stuff, right? There's some modular stuff.
Yeah, and you can see that's it. These things are just brilliant. Just brilliant. That modular kit.
Yeah,
they can have little bee bedrooms and little bee dinner tables and little bee all sorts.
And then you can raise other bees in other areas and then modular it up and then eventually introduce the bees to each other. And then you can hold bee dance-offs.
Oh, wouldn't that be something? Be something.
It'd be the fucking bee's knees, eh?
It would be the beezles, measles. There's some fantastic stuff, isn't there? Indoor hives. It's the way to go. It's the future.
And look at that, nice and simple as well. You could probably make them yourself, Dad. Just a little bit
of
joinery.
You could. A bit of 3D printery and some perspex, and you've got it.
Yeah. And you know what as well for the kinds of material that you'd need, you could do this pretty damn cheap. You could build a couple of these modular things for £100 or less.
We could do this
with perspex and plyboard or whatever. What they're using here, plyboard, you get some chipboard or something.
How about we do it at your sister's? I mean, the kids, you made stronger for a couple of stings. Do them good, like they did in our day.
Chuck some dirt in it and if you read, no, you ain't getting that past my sister. She's terrified of anything that flies, from bees to planes, all of it.
She'd freak. Absolutely. So,
if it flies, she will scream and dance over it.
So that's the thing, yeah. It's genuinely a thing, and I would love to have them.
Absolutely. So I'll kick us off if you don't mind with the first story. Let me have a
Shall we? Let's start. Oh yeah. Is it? Oh, is it that one?
Yeah, it's that one. We'll take this one in. We'll take this one in turns if you want.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'll read. Do you know what? We'll do every other line because every other break. We'll do it because we can. Why the fuck not?
Well, do you think?
I'm just going to get some stuff. Yeah, I'm going to get some stuff prepared. Let's have a look. This will be the first story, so we'll wing ourselves over to Audit Corner for this one. And I'm going to plop us over here. And are you cool?
He's at it again.
He's at it again.
That rat.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Right, okay. No, he isn't. And if you're going to double down on it, I'll have to say no. We don't dehumanize people like that because we're better than. Honestly, we're better than that. So, and also as well, and you may even learn something, because a lot of this stuff is based on the dehumanization of people and stuff. Because what he's doing right here is also dehumanizing.
Yes, it is.
So, yeah. So, lecture to one side. Sorry about that. You know how I am, Dad. Right. Here is our very, very, very first story of the day, and this is one that concerns DP audits, and this is our far right. So, when you send your child to school, you do so believing that they're going to be safe, and you don't expect to see a man standing across the road filming them, turning children into content for thousands of strangers online.
And that's exactly what Paul Dunbar, aka DP Audits, has been doing. The children in his video.
Oh, sorry, Dad, we were going every other one.
Yeah, but I only got one line. You get a whole thing.
What? That's not the own. Right, we're gonna have to scrap about it. You want to fight over script? Let's do it.
Yeah, no, go on. So again, I'm just being a little bit.
No, you take it. Honestly, do you want to take this story? I feel like it might. I was thinking about it, and I've decided you can do it.
Oh, thank you. Right. When you send your kid to school, you do so believing that they'll be safe. You don't expect to see a man standing across the road filming them, turning children into content for thousands of strangers online. And that's exactly what Paul Dunbar, aka DP Audits, has been doing. The children in his video aren't there because they've done anything wrong. This isn't auditing. They're there because of the colour of their skin. They become props in a wider, weirder, racist narrative about demographic change that he broadcasts to his audience. This claim he's not racist. By the way, Paul Dunbar was recently featured in a Searchlight article after sending rape threats aimed at another man's daughters, along with threats towards that man's wife. He's also the same man who had a supporting role in the Byline Times article about posting graphic images to a Discord that was exposed as being a radical space where people were posting things like how to buy automatic weapons. Auditors, in quote marks, like this, have moved well beyond claims of holding power to account. More often, the content is focused on targeting minorities, fueling resentment and generating outrage because outrage pays. Social media has created an environment where racism isn't toxic anymore. It's amplified and it can be monetized. When platforms reward engagement above everything else, almost any behavior can become a business model, no matter how harmful. And look where it's got us. People with incredibly shady records, including arrests for domestic violence, are claiming that they're here to help children and women, while standing outside a school to capture kids' faces and have a racist rant about them. It's more than just a known creep being creepy. When children are repeatedly portrayed as a supposed threat rather than simply fucking children, it helps create an atmosphere of fear and hostility. We've just seen the consequences of that wider climate after a bomb threat forced the evacuation of a Muslim school in the UK, and we'll look into that as well in a moment. Whether it's filming children for racist comment or making threats to burn down or bomb schools, while they are different acts, they grow from the same environment that normalizes the idea that certain communities should be reviewed as lesser. It's an environment that's being created and maintained by the far right. Children should be able to go to school without becoming targets, whether that's for online propaganda or real-world intimidation. We all deserve better. All of us. So, are you there, young fellow?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so sorry. Just dealing with just sorting his dogs out. I've also got like a bunch of dogs around me. I'm kind of also babysitting. There's 4 of them at the moment, again. And one of them has babies in the belly. So technically I've got like anywhere between like 6 and 8 dogs
5
in here.
9, yeah.
So sorry about that. But no, I wanted to look at this particular article in connection with what we saw
The bomb threat
was going, the bomb threat here of a
Yeah.
Muslim school in Birmingham. And I think that these, while they are completely isolated stories, one was not directly related to the other. It's about creating this environment where even children are now being targeted. Like Nevera Media say here, what if 450 children at any other school were threatened this way? It's such an outrage, and it should concern parents everywhere. This is a violation, and what we're seeing is the far right repeatedly using schools as battlegrounds. And now we're seeing people like DP Audits turning up outside them to blast them all over his social medias and talk about the demographic change so he can use them as racist props in his instead of human beings, but as actual props.
He's got no shame at all, that man. None at all.
And it's so shocking, and it's scary as well, frankly. And then now we see as well, and I'm not saying that one individual is responsible for that. I'm just pointing out the pattern of behavior that creates this environment that leads to exactly this story here. So, the Muslim school being in Birmingham being targeted with bomb threat emails. This is the same. This is the same stochastic environment. This is the result of the stochastic environment that these people are actively engaged in and contributing towards. It's how they make their money. So hundreds of children were evacuated from a Muslim ethos school on the last day of term after the school received a bomb threat. Hamad House School in Birmingham. Hamad House School in Birmingham was swept by police and sniffer dogs on Tuesday after the school received a threatening email, Birmingham Live reported. Police gave the all clear, but harassment investigation is still ongoing. School was full of pupils who were celebrating the last day before summer. We were giving out awards proprietor Isra Kanta, adding that the evacuation was hugely disrupting. I bet that was to say the least. He also said the school, which caters for 450 children aged 11 to 16, is rated as outstanding by Ofsted and has been targeted by a number of incidents. So this isn't the first rodeo either. They're being targeted numerously. There's a number of incidents, and it's because
an outstanding skill, possibly.
Yeah. Oh, check this out. Agent 47 LFC has just become a member. Welcome to the Smelly Lefties. You are officially now a Smelly Lefty. You're part of it.
You are indeed.
You're part of the family. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate that. And thank you very much for that as well, Crow Crag. Honestly, you guys are just absolutely fantastic. I really, really do appreciate it.
You are the
there
best.
Are already laws. There's just a comment here. There are already laws that could take care of this very effectively. They just choose not to enforce them. There's lots of different things going on all at once, and it would be nice for us to, I'm as somebody that wants to change the structure fundamentally from top to bottom, the system in which we live in. I think we should have something entirely different that serves the people. I would settle for if they just enforced the right laws and the structure and the framework that we already have in place. If they just propped everything up properly, if we had a working NHS, a working police force, if all those stuff actually worked as they were supposed to, then I'd probably meet in the middle and just settle there for a bit. But we're
You've got to see. I mean, you've got to think that this running down of the NHS, it's deliberate. It's deliberate so that they can privatise, sell insurance.
It's capitalism. And do you know what? Going on from this story, I do actually have a point to make about capitalism, broadly speaking. And obviously this and it feeds back into this story specifically, and it feeds back into DP himself actually. So I'll just I'll take this next part. Let me take this off the screen for a second. So this next part, still relates to DP audits, but specifically a speech and things that he's been given, and I think that it's part of a broader problem, because a broader problem that does relate to capitalism, because DP audits again is I've been looking on his channel and that, and he's been showing himself to be not the innocent, independent, and impartial citizen journalist that he claims to be, but instead he's that thing that he says he's definitely not, which is a far-right activist and a vlogger. He's nothing more. But while he's been proving this on his channel, it seems that when he's not wearing his famous sandwich board, begging for attention, or being removed from any given Weatherspoons or coffee shop in and around the Birmingham area. That he's also, he's giving speeches on, he's not outside your school taking pictures of kids and things. This man's also, as we're about to see, making speeches through a microphone set up in the middle of a high street. Now, I will tie this back into the capitalism side of things in just a second, but I do want to look at this, specifically this speech that he's been given in one of his latest videos, not only to demonstrate, as I've said, that he is a far-right activist rather than a journalist, but also to highlight the disturbing pattern of dehumanizing language towards anyone that these people perceive as different. So I think we'll have a look at that now. So, sorry, I've just got to click the link and get it up and do all that techie stuff. We should, do you know what? Someone was saying we should have that helps us do this, and I think they were right. We need volunteers. Right, so let's have a sorry, God, who the fuck gives him a microphone? It's absolutely outrageous. But here he is, Paul Dunbar.
I thought we were better than that.
Look, who gives him a microphone? The guy's a fucking monster. That's what I mean.
Easy.
What do you mean easy? There's a clear line that I'm willing to fight him over it. If you don't see it, maybe, perhaps, I should come round to your house, right?
Yeah.
And whisper it. And then
you should come round to my house and make me a right nice cup of tea. That's what you should do.
I should do, shouldn't I? I do need. We're overdue sitting down and just chatting with the fucking shit. I mean, I know that's what we're doing on late, but it would be nice to just us have a chat, and I'll do that really soon. But here is DP Audits giving a speech. This is just fucking. Some of the things he says in this that are just fucking outrageous. Let me know what you think, and say pause whenever you need to.
No swearing, DP. No swearing.
I'll talk, because me and the lads are going to some of you mind who truth and that we cover the migrant situation.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to pop this on because it's going to be a bit difficult to understand what he's saying.
Because me and the lads are going to some of you mind who truth and that we cover the migrant situation up and down the UK, suppose in the hotels. And I want to say to you, I was impressed today. The NIMBYs over there, not in my backyard, decided to turn up as any telephone. Come here, look how many there are.
I mean, I'll give him credit where credit's due. I didn't know that he knew what NIMBY was, what it meant, or anything like that. He's actually used the phrase that in that whole thing that he said to start us off. It's kind of foreshadowing, isn't it? The rest of what he's going to say is absolute bollocks. But
excuse me if I don't give him credit for anything.
Absolutely, you are excused. Bruh.
Keep turning up and keep coming as much as you can. These migrants will change this town a lot. Right? You're about to drop 1,250 fighting age men into a pretty
working age men.
This fighting age men, though, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, replace fighting with working. Every time you hear that. Yeah.
People who work, people who have jobs, people who are going, going to contribute to their society and the places around them. Yeah. It's the framing, isn't it? It's this constant framing of, well, they fit a certain racial profile. They, we don't like their legal status, for example, which is perfectly legal as it happens when they get to, and this thing is all about unvetted. Like, oh God, it's so mad, isn't it? Because it's. Paul Dunbar is, you can sort of quote unquote vet Paul Dunbar. You can Google it and see the sort of things that he's been up to in his record, and it is quite shocking and disgusting. So it's quite an irony for him to sit there and stop pointing the fingers at total strangers. But it's racist because he's doing it because they fit a certain profile, which we'll go into in a second. It's all about this white race bullshit, preserving the white people and how the others are invaders. But this framing that he's selectively using right here. Just framing them to be the enemy, these fighting age men. It's already gearing people up for a battle, sort of like, you know what I mean? It's that sort of aggressive. This is stochastic as fuck. This is like the definition of like stochastic speech. Right now, what he's doing is he's priming all these people before any asylum seekers arrive in this town. He's priming them. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be terrible. Subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's just fucking, and it couldn't be more obvious that that's what it was as well. It's terrible, terrible stuff.
All right, Peppy.
English town. This is the Shire, and they're letting the orcs in. You know,
Whoa! He said
What
that.
a disgusting.
He said that.
He did.
Right.
He did.
He is a rat. He's worse than a rat. He's a horrible
No, Dad,
fuck.
we don't.
How-
Okay, so
that is
what you're
so
doing is
dehumanizing. Hang on,
exactly
hang on.
the same as
That
what
is
he's
so dehumanizing. No, that's far worse. That is so dehumanizing. He called people orcs. This is the Shire, and they're letting the orcs in.
That's dehumanizing. Yeah, no, I understand. Right, okay, so, but what you're doing now is you're doing the same thing that he's doing.
I'm angry. I'm angry. It makes me fucking angry. I make no apologies for being angry.
I hear it, but we're not about. But you literally have to, Dad. Mainly because that's the TOS and everything else, and you're going to have to start to rein in your feelings a little bit. And I understand it is infuriating, and I understand that you don't mean it in the way that you're trying to dehumanize him. That's a phrase that's used around it to characterize a lot of people who are very sneaky, underhanded, knowingly doing so. It's about characteristics of of this.
This is. I mean, this is.
I get
this is what the.
Allow me to finish, though. I'm so sorry, Dad. I understand, and it's important that I do this as well. But it's yeah. So like. I understand that you're making references about the character and things, but we do have to be, we have to be careful of language and things, because otherwise we're not, we
do, but I mean, this is beyond the pale. To me, to this old man, it's just fucking beyond the pale, mate. It's absolutely terrible, fucking disgusting.
I understand it,
and it's not coming from a good place, I can't pretend it's coming from a good place. I can't.
No, absolutely, but I get that, but you also can't broadcast that to the public. You've got to remember where you are, Dad, and I love you to pieces.
Feelings, they're just my feelings. This is, it's just a couple of bits.
I know, and exactly, and that's just his feelings.
And that's how I feel.
get that too.
I find that probably the most offensive thing I've heard in years.
I understand it.
I haven't heard anything like that in years. That's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Carry on. Play it again if you want.
No, absolutely. But right. So this is I do want. It's important to clarify as well. That isn't the stance of this channel at all. It really isn't. We don't dehumanize people, and I understand that tempers are high because it is such an egregious and terrible thing to say, and I understand and the ramifications of it. But obviously, we take care of our language, and if we do say something like that, we'll clean it up. But the reality is that what we heard there about the orcs and the Shire and all that stuff, it's disgusting, but it is a good example of the now perfectly acceptable public dehumanization rhetoric that we
so that's
see
what that's how the Ukrainians describe the Russians just before they kill them.
Other way around.
No, they describe the Ukrainians call the Russians orcs, the invaders. Okay, I know what I'm talking about. I swear. That's what they called. Yeah, and that's why I find it so. I mean, that's part of why I find it so fucking.
Please, I don't want to have to do this. I'm trying to message and everything else, and you're really not picking up what I'm putting down. We don't do that. We literally don't. We don't.
What don't we do? What is it we don't do?
We don't dehumanize people, Dad. We need to just then. And the next thing that we've written is a whole thing about that.
It's so dehumanized. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Dad, please stop. Please stop. This is so embarrassing. Please, honestly, stop.
Okay. Well, if you're embarrassed, I don't know
I
what
just want you to stop. I just want you to stop. That's it.
I want you to. I prefer you stop picking up on it. I prefer you stop picking up on it.
I would love to do this off stream, MD, and I'm trying to move on from it.
I know you are. So move on. Move on. You're not going to. I mean, I'm not going to back down over it, right? You know what I'm like. And I am not fucking backing down. I know what I think of the man. Okay? I know what I think of it. And nothing you will do will do. We've seen all this together. So I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not even asking you to do that, Dad. I'm just asking you to stop. Just stop. And be careful about where you are as well.
Please move on.
Now you're interrupting me. I am moving on, Dad. I'm moving on from this one, please. But I have to, in order for the channel and everything else to be able to thrive, and in order for our message to be able to get out there, and for everyone to be able to hear it and understand what's going on. We can't have those slip-ups. We can't, and it's important to do that. And I understand that you're taking yourself off, and I don't know if that's because of anything else, but I just want to highlight that we're not about that. We're not about dehumanizing people. We're not about, yes, do I think that his characteristics do fit that, in the way that it was originally meant, like that ratty sort of, yeah, I get it, but it's petty, and we're not about that. We're above that. And so, yeah, and I think this is the thing. This is the environment that's being created. And when we look at, especially with the Anne Whitcomb situation as well, like it really is about time that we just, if we're going to, especially if we're criticizing, we're in positions where we're publicly broadcasting to people that we do that stuff. It is important. And I hope you just, go and cool off, because, and to be honest with you, my dad's anger is fully justified. It's fully justified. Like the weirding things, obviously, we have to be careful about, but the anger is absolutely fully justified, and I rate his passion. I really do. Obviously, we'll get the weirding things right. We'll get there, but what you're seeing DP doing right now, using Lord of the Rings mythical beasts to describe other humans, it's dangerous. It leads to violence every time. It always does. This is the same guy who was camping outside of a school with his camera, and then we saw bomb threats to Muslim schools and things like this. It's dangerous. It's incredibly dangerous. Which, again, just to reinforce the idea, which is why we have to be careful about our language. Now, to some people, that Lord of the Rings mythical beasts thing is it's just another comment, but it's not just another like racist random comment. It really isn't. It's the sign of a broken system that has failed and is now eating itself. It's not just about DP and his very obvious racism. It's a clear symptom of a lot of issues. It's a nuanced problem. His own racism obviously comes into it, of course, as does his own cognitive dissonance. But there's also the layer of lack of moderation on platforms, the monetization incentive that's provided by these people, which then leads you to the issues of like billionaires that own the platforms. The real core problem is, why aren't they moderating it? Why aren't they even attempting to clean up the spaces? Why are they offering capital gain for or financial gain, sorry, for people that create this sort of content? Why? It's because capitalism. You know what I mean? That's the overall point that we were that wanted to come back to as well. They make a shit ton of money. It's it's not a broken algorithm or system to them. So why fix it? And then this is where it's got us. It's made us so poor that people have turned against members of their own, their own communities, that their own class, thinking that that if they get angry at this certain group of people, if they can do that, they've been tricked into thinking if they do that, they can get just a little bit more. People are that poor, and they've also, some folk like Paul Dunbar and stuff have learned that one of the ways that you can potentially get out of poverty, if you're lucky enough, if you learn the trade of racist grifting, then then you can grift your way out of it. But the people at the top who aren't poor, this is why it's a capitalist problem. They've found the perfectly legal way of exploiting all of that. And that's the big main thing there. Hey, you're back. We've got you. And because you're back and you joined afterwards on your thing, we can get them back to where we were. So I love you loads, Dad. I really do. And I was just got to the sort of meat and potatoes of the real issue of this, because obviously DP, tier 5 auditor, says and does horrible things, contributing to the awful nature of the beast that is the far right, and the way it's rampaging across the UK, and the terrible things that we see. But we can boil this down to a broader problem about capitalism and the financial incentives, the lack of motivation, the lack of regulation, and everything else. This is pretty much like the end stage capitalism. It's terrible. It is absolutely awful. So, speaking of misinformation from some far right shithouses, there's a Tommy Robinson story that I wanted to look at. I don't know if you want to take the lead on that one, Dad. Are you having tech issues? Is your mic working? Check.
Struggling with.
Oh, it says, yeah, I think your internet's struggling there. It came on for a second and then it went off again. I don't know if refreshing it'll help. Do you know what? I'm sure we've got a banner for lefty tech issues. But while you're sorting that, and we're queuing up the next one, right? Okay, so you're off the panel at the moment. You've taken yourself off for a second. So yeah, while you're fixing that and sorting it out, I'll keep that story back for 1 second, and I'll have a look at what the chat's doing and how everybody's going on. Oh shit, have I missed another gifted membership from Crowcrack? 5 of them. Fucking wow, man, that's so kind of you. That's really kind. Let's see who's been gifted. Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate the support. And honestly, the content is always going to be free to watch. It's going to be free to consume. And yeah, I just if you want to, it's there. And thank you so much for doing it. It means a lot to us, honestly. Like me and Dad do talk about it, like quite a lot when we're when we're behind the scenes and things. It's just like, whoa, like all these people are just so nice, and like we didn't expect any of this when we started. So let's have a look. The gifted memberships were so we've got Welsh Girl, who is now officially a Smelly Lefty, loving the name by the way. We've got Samo 3000, we've got MKB something, and we've got Troller Tyrone. You're all Smelly Lefties, and also a special shout out to News Now Yorkshire. It's great to know that you're still sub, honestly. You're now officially a Smelly Lefty, and you can shower as much as you want, Mike. It's never, ever getting out of your pores, mate. That's just how it works. Once you go this smelly, there's no other way back. It's just, it is what it is. Hey, no, that's really kind of you. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's really, really nice, honestly. So Tommy falsely accusing, that's actually interestingly part of the story that we're going to talk about next. It's not just this individual though, is it? Tommy's displaying a pattern of doing this, of creating lies that spread around the internet and cause such detrimental, real world harm to people, to families, to individuals, to families, to communities, broadly speaking, and indeed to the nation. But but let's focus in on the individuals somewhat. Let's look at some of the immediate and obvious victims, which are the people that he's lying about. While you're getting that sorted, Dad, I'll crack on with this Tommy Robinson thing, just because it happens to come up in the chat as well. So I'll keep it moving while you get that sorted. And as well, do you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to chuck out a link to someone. And there you go. I'll drop that on there. So hopefully we may be joined by a mysterious mystery guest in a short while as well. I feel so sorry for my dad. It must be so frustrating because obviously we've had that difference of opinion and things, and we're passionate about stuff, and then I know how frustrating it must be then to have all those tech issues right after it as well. Oh, bless him. But we'll get there at the sound. So this Tommy Robinson business at the moment. Tommy Robinson is the grift that keeps on grifting. Just the vilest of vile. He's had to issue an apology recently, hasn't he? Let me make sure I've got all this stuff up. Yeah, so, Stephen Yaxley Lennon is at it again. And a surprise to absolutely fucking nobody, as I'm sure you'll all agree. He's been sharing misinformation that puts people's lives and homes in danger simply because their skin colour and appearance can be used, out of context, of course, as a vehicle to push his dirty ideology. So we have covered his endless lies on this platform before. It's one of the things that we do regularly, and how he uses misinformation to prime his audience for, bigotry and violence. And frankly, this time, I don't really want to talk too much about Tommy himself, and instead I want to talk about the people that he affects, the individuals that he's been making stories up about, the gentleman that was mentioned in the comments, and there's another individual as well. So I just want to make sure I've got all the links up. Also, there is a person backstage. It says device is not connected. So I'll let you do your thing, and as soon as there you go. As soon as you get it sorted out, I'll bring you on. Nice one, no worries. But so, there is a new story here from Sky News. Oh no, this isn't from Sky News, what am I talking about? This is STV. This is Scottish News, because this is about an individual from Glasgow. Here he is, proper legend. So Tommy Robinson apologising after falsely labelling Scott's dad an invader. So just to give you a sort of quick summary of what's happened, let's catch you up to what happened. So this gentleman here, he's 43 years old. He's from Glasgow. He's a dad, and he's become the target of terrible online accusations after footage from an anti-immigration protest circulated widely online. He was in a park in Glasgow's Gorbals area with his children when the anti-immigration protest arrived, and after taking his children away from the area, he returned and then filmed the protest as a counter-protest of his own sort of thing. But he was accused of filming children. Reports that I've seen online from all over the far right sphere would have you believing the same thing. Tommy Robinson also shared the footage and described him as an invader who was filming children. It's fucking disgusting. None of it's true, obviously. And then, and that was followed by a really rare Tommy Robinson apology. But before we get to that, though, bring it onto the panel. Drum roll, please. MZ, how are you doing?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You okay?
Yeah. My mic wouldn't connect before. I don't know what that was about. And it was also trying to connect to my camera, which isn't even plugged in.
Well, that sounds fun. You sound like a lefty to me.
Wow, I am a lefty. That is a true
With
fact.
your lefty tech issues.
Fat thumbed me way in here.
There you go. But you're here, and it's awesome. So there's been, just to jump you up to speed quickly with this story, I don't know how much of it you heard, but there's been a couple of recent incidents where Tommy Robinson has been posting some terribly vile accusations and images and videos out of context about individuals up and down the country. Individuals typically that fit a certain racial profile, and none of it's true. Like, I've just shared this this tweet here. So since this interview went out, Tommy Robinson had to, as he says, correct the record because he put out some misinformation about this man, claiming he was an invader filming children at the park. So I'll read out what he tweeted anyways. I have to correct the record here. In this instance, I got it wrong. As did many others. Yeah, also as well, Tommy, like, you didn't just get this one wrong. You've got a pattern of getting them wrong, a history of getting it wrong. Yeah. So for that, I apologized and deleted the post. And then in all capitals, however, which kind of feels like a but, and everyone knows that anything said before but doesn't really count. I'm not racist, but no, that does not negate all the other many incidents of freshy migrants taking over parks and filming children. Good God, this man is just absolutely terrible. It happens a lot. One incorrect example does not mean this issue should be ignored. In fact, it should be chased down relentlessly. So he's basically doubling down on it and just saying, all right, okay, so I might have got this one wrong, but everything else is correct. It isn't. And let's see, because, for what it is for him, just a simple tweet to retract his statement. It isn't that simple for this man.
Well, what does he think of people
far-right act
DP hanging around outside schools? What's Tommy's opinion on that? I mean, that's a bit weird.
Shared posts of
he's an unvetted man travelling to other cities to hang around outside schools. What? That's weird. He doesn't have any.
And it's not like he's unaware of him. He knows who DP is. Like, he shares DP's posts and stuff, so he follows them. It's not like he's unaware of these particular individuals and we're picking up some random case. These are Tommy orbiters, like, that are outside schools filming. And, for obvious nefarious reasons as well. Like, it's shocking. It really is shocking. I'll play this now because I think that as much as this is about Tommy Robinson, it is also about Tommy Robinson's victims. And after this as well, we'll be hearing off another victim who has had to turn to mainstream media and stuff to be able to get their story out because their life has also been ruined by Tommy's life.
Yeah.
Far-right activist Tommy Robinson has apologised after falsely labelling a Glasgow dad as an invader. Last night, STV News spoke to Coram Begg, who was left fearing for his life after those attending an anti-immigration protest in the Gorbals wrongly accused him of filming children. The 43-year-old, who was born in Glasgow, was at the park with his family. Well, Brandon has been covering this story for us. Did you expect this, Brandon?
No, it's not something I personally expected, Andrea, but it was certainly something that Coram was hoping for. When we filmed with him yesterday, it's fair to say that he was fairly shaken up by being falsely accused and was determined to clear.
It's just
his name. The video that went...
Another invader hanging around a park filming children. Glasgow again, too. It's not true. You just made it up. He made that up. He has no idea. He never verified it. People call him a journalist, you know. Like people in those sort of circles, they actually call him a journalist.
Is he another one of them? Because he does have like a so-called media company, doesn't he? Is he another one of them that has an entertainment license? Can we find that out?
Urban Scoop, yeah. Do you know what? Let's have a quick look now and see. Is Urban Scoop? Yeah, I bet it's a limited company or something. What are you thinking?
Oh, yeah. I almost want to... I should be doing this myself, shouldn't I? Looking on other screen. Let's have a look.
No, it's all right. I'm on it. So let's have a look. So Urban Scoop is on... so it's an independent media... Sorry, it describes itself as an independent media and citizen journalist company. I'm not seeing anything that it's on. I'm thinking it's just like a YouTube platform type of thing. It's just so Urban Scoop Limited overview. So this is from gov.co.uk. Urban Scoop Limited. So it's registered as like a limited company, and it's it's just like a series of platforms like like X and YouTube and things like that. So it's just platforms that are closely associated with the commentator. So she's pushing his commentary, his audio podcast, and his campaign updates. So it's Push itself as a project driven by citizen journalists, lol, who want to operate outside of the mainstream media framework, which means that they are not like a registered news outlet or anything like that. They're not even got an entertainment license. It's just a channel. That's literally what it is. It's just a handful of channels across social media that he uses to springboard his career. Funny.
It's funny because the one that I just looked at, it says, let's read it out. Hang on. It says he self-reports. He self-identifies as independent media. Self-identifies. And it says as well that he's got... he does not hold any formal reporting or broadcasting license, such as an Ofcom TV broadcast license. The platform functions primarily as an online publisher and digital video channel. What a wally.
Absolutely.
Didn't even have his basic ducks in a row. My goodness.
I know. None of them. But I mean, and then look what he chooses to do with with his actual official own platforms and stuff.
But he's not a grifter.
This isn't journalism.
Definitely 100% not a grifter.
Not at all.
My
Everything he
God.
says is amazing. He's a journalist. He's a great journalist. And sometimes great journalists invent things too. No.
Viral of him with those false claims was shared widely online, including by accounts with millions of followers. Today, one of those people, as you mentioned, former EDL leader Tommy Robinson, posted on his X account in response to STV's report last night, saying, "I have to correct the record here. In this instance, I got it wrong, as did many others. So for that, I apologise and have deleted the post." He went on to say that his overall point about migrants filming children in parks still stands and shouldn't be ignored. Now,
and again, like, just to highlight that this is about racist things and not about that, because he is only and exclusively highlighting those individuals that are that fit a certain racial profile, because here we see people in his own orbit, people whose posts he shares, people who have, people who prop him up and spread his messaging. They're outside schools. They're actively doing this thing where they're actively going out to record your children and upload them to as many people as they can to make racialized points, in a similar way to Tommy Robinson did with that man just then.
So what strikes me is if we did the same to them as what they did to the migrants, it would be they wouldn't like it. Like, for example, like DJE Media has convictions, don't they? And if what they do is they say they'll take one example of a migrant that's committed a crime, and they'll say that's all the migrants. And then if they see somebody who is residing in a hotel near a park, there's an uproar. Well, if we carry that logic through to them, there's DJE Media with convictions, and then we've got Paul Dunbar getting thrown out of children's clothing shops and filming outside schools. What's that about?
And it goes beyond that as well. Obviously, we saw the Searchlight magazine thing. I don't know if you can hear my Milo sleeping in the background. He's making
I can, yeah.
If you can hear that, it's cute. But yeah, I'll try not to disturb him too much. But there's all those other, like the thing that happened with the Discord, the Byline Times investigation into Scott Chesterton's Discord, which featured Paul Dunbar. He was featured in the article and explained about. But what I'm trying to say is that these are the individuals that, like, they're describing everyone else to be. Like, oh no, these are the dangers. Like, could you imagine any of the things that these people did? Could you imagine if somebody that was from an asylum-seeking background did that? Like, it would be insane. It would, yeah, exactly, yeah. It would be horrific. Like we're saying about, DJE Media and his HSPO, his SHPO, sexual harm prevention order, like all of it. What if an asylum seeker threatened to burn down a school to kill teachers, and just admitted it online or something like that? Would there be scores of people to defend that behaviour? It's truly shocking. Certainly steeped in, I don't know, maybe not irony, maybe more hypocrisy, but it feels even more insidious than that, isn't it? It's like some sort of like projection now, they're hiding out in this space and then projecting onto everyone else.
Yeah. It's the ultimate moral grandstanding, isn't it? It's almost like some of them have something to hide with how vehemently they oppose certain crimes and certain individuals. It's almost like they're trying to hide something in their own backgrounds. Ooh.
Yeah, absolutely. Very. And in many cases, we know that there's numbers to back that, isn't there? So, for example, the 41% of people from Southport, and then subsequently the numbers that were generated from the broader of the country in total, with all of the riots collectively. And in some areas, it was as high as 54% of people that had been arrested for riots. In some areas, had a previous contact with police for domestic violence and stuff. And again, we've documented so much of that, but to come to this now, though, because this isn't I want to hear what Tommy's victim has got to say. That's how I will describe this gentleman, and we'll hear from him in just a second. But I also want to highlight somebody else after this, and what I'm hoping to do is to be able to prove a pattern, that this isn't like a mistake. It's not just another, it's not just a typo. It's not just, oh, sorry, there was a bit of a problem in the hard workings of journalism that we were doing backstage. A couple of things slipped and we're really sorry, but we're bringing you the best journalism. It's none of that. It's intentional. So I'll press play now and then we'll hear off the bit.
Important to clarify again, Andrea, Quorum isn't a migrant. He was born in Scotland, and earlier the campaign group Stand Up to Racism said Quorum has been demonised with misinformation, an experience that they say people of colour across communities in Scotland are experiencing at the moment as well.
Have you heard from him? What's he saying?
Yeah, he spoke to me earlier today. He sent us a short statement for us to read out. He said that he has been alerted to Tommy Robinson apologising to his followers. He questioned whether that is an apology to himself. He went on to say that this has caused him harm to him and his family and has been deeply distressing, and that he's also taking legal advice and considering his options.
Okay, thanks for that, Brandon.
Oh no, maybe this wasn't one we got to hear from properly. But there you go. He's taking legal advice and things, and I hope that he and the next person that we're about to talk about take Tommy Robinson to court, because they're ruining lives. Do you remember not long ago with the granddad that was in the park with his granddaughter? And
Yeah, that was. Yeah, that was horrific. That one. I mean, it like the level of risk that they're putting members at the public at to push their crazy ideologies it's like they can't tolerate 10% of the type of harm they're putting onto other people. They're just such weak individuals, bullies. That's all they are, bullies hiding behind cameras.
They are absolutely bullies hiding behind cameras and social media platforms. Hello, the Fresh Breeze. I hope you're well. I hope you're good. Yeah, I've been really enjoying. I was on your panel a long time. I've been really enjoying the content you're putting out, man. You're really cool. Yeah, so let's have a look now at the next part of this story, because it doesn't end there. There is, of course, other people that he's done this to, and more recently, there was. Let's have a look now. I'll get this story up. There was the incident with the seagull. Do you remember this? Do you remember the particular?
Oh, yeah. I'd sort of seen another one linked to this today. Similar type of narrative spinning. Completely fake news. Completely fake news. But they're still running with it, even though, like, there's literally people retracting it and mainstream media outlets proving it's fake news. They're still sat making jokes about people.
I'm really sorry.
One of us is breaking up. Which one of us?
I can. Can you hear me yet? I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry.
I can't
bear with me. What it is I've just got too many tabs open. I'm so sorry. There we go. Yeah, so I've got. I had too many tabs open and things, and I'm just. Right,
well, I'll do a hospitable takeover then. Whoa, look at me. I'm in charge, everyone. Party!
So, yeah, let's have a look at this now. So, a Muslim woman who the far right painted as eating a seagull. What really happened?
The land remembers.
God damn advertisement.
Wow.
I need ad blocker on here so damn badly. I just need news. I just need the information. What is this?
You say that at least twice every stream. Lefty tech
I need ad blocker, and then I never get ad blocker, and then because I forget. What happens is we go from here, we end up having like an after party in the Discord sort of thing. We chat about all sorts of cool stuff. I get loads of ideas for another stream, and then I never get ad blocker.
I'll remind you later. And now I've put that task on myself, I'll completely forget because of my ADHD.
That's how it works. And then the ADHD circle continues. So here we are.
You got it. She's got it.
All right, don't fall, David. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No, well,
thank
well
you,
done,
David.
David.
Thank you, Ellen.
No, you're welcome.
God bless you, really.
There you go. I just want to share this with you from the Canary, our good friends over at Canary. I'll just read you the bottom half of it first, though. This was the tweet that was put out by Tommy Robinson. Invaders catching and killing gulls in broad daylight in modern England. Get these backwards people out. You fucking racist piece of shit. The Canary responded with this, though, and they tweeted themselves. We know the woman in this video who was rescuing the seagull, so we'd recommend you remove this post and apologise for your anti-Muslim racist tirade. Tirade means angry verbal outburst, if your followers were wondering. They are fucking scathing. No, I love their response. I'm loving some of their journalism at the moment. It's honestly really fantastic stuff. But Yeah, this is yet another example of Tommy Robinson making things up, demonizing people, and here are more people who are victims of this. There are a trail of people who have never done anything wrong, who were only helping or spending time with their kids at a park or recording a counter protest, that suddenly and quite effectively, quite quickly, because the internet spreads real fast, lies spread much quicker than truth. Which is why I'm reading these articles out rather than just moaning about just Tommy. But yeah, I mean, look at this. People shout "Seagull Eater" at me in the street after far-right lies. A woman says that she fears for Muslim women's safety after a clip of her rescuing a baby seagull went viral, with people accusing her of catching it for food. Nora Mubarak was secretly filmed as she tried to save an infant seagull which had fallen from its rooftop nest in Grimsby. Two men were laughing in a van and filming her as she wrapped it in a towel. After she saw them and acknowledged they might be concerned, she went over and explained that she was returning the gull to its mother. This section was cut out of the video. Nora, who is a prominent member of the Seagull Appreciation Society on Facebook, is mortified anyone could think to hurt any animal. Like, fucking, this person is literally like part of the Seagull Appreciation Society. Fucking, like, oh, and they're accusing her of like taking, because it stems, of course, from that sort of Donald Trump narrative, doesn't it? Do you remember that eating the pets comment, which was then repeated in many different contexts like this? Yeah.
Well, that feeds into the tier system as well, and shows that the language is shared from the top down and the bottom up, but also the word invader. So that's steeped in our own UK political history. And it's actually a quote from Suella Braverman when she was a Home Secretary. Nigel Farage has also used that language. It's language that's been used by the right political parties for at least the last 20 years, just openly since Theresa May's hostile environment. King's College London has done a really interesting paper, actually. I'll link it somewhere in Discord, about the rhetorical language, the language that's been used by the political class and media establishments, that's been now used and repeated by the stochastic auditors. Yeah.
They're taking those words and they're running with it. And then now that these people are primed for this sort of stuff, because Nigel Farage was saying that they were eating the swans and things previous to this, echoing that same sentiment that came over from America. And now what we're seeing is like now when you see someone from the bloody Seagull Appreciation Society like rescuing a seagull because of the color of her skin, because of the way that she dresses, they've instantly just assumed that it must be that. And this is a sort of, it's not mild because it's obviously having a huge impact on this person's life. And she was, she was a viral sensation for a small time, and still is. That video is unbelievably high, and it's going to have ripple effects for a long time to come. Oh, sorry.
Well, I'm just wondering if it's having even wider ramifications, like if organisations like PDSA and RSPCA are having to safeguard their staff and not send certain emergency responders out to wildlife, because basically they might get targeted in this way.
And these are the things that are all possibilities, when it comes to creating, because I know obviously I say the word stochastic a lot, and because obviously this falls short of a direct incitement, of course, but what we're seeing is a significant rising number of people that are able to monetize the creating a very dangerous environment. And so now we're starting to see I'm trying to think what the most recent one was, probably with the Ann Whitcomb killer thing. There was that whole argument about the ethnicity of the killer before anyone knew that it was being investigated by counterterrorism and things. People were talking about, because the first person was the information and the details that were given out was that they were a white person. Then we saw the police, after the kickoff that happened, then saying that, look, unless it's we're not sharing a lot of these details with you, even if it is a man, and we have to keep it from you because of the way that it's all being weaponized. It doesn't matter what the information is; it'll just be taken and run with, and it's tragic. I don't really know what my end point was there, but I just wanted to I think as well. There was a couple of quotes here that are just to highlight the effects that just even when he says he gets it wrong. Like this is why it's important to be responsible about your language, to understand that the things that you say and do have real world impacts when you're broadcasting to the wider public. So she told the Metro, when I go out, people stare, and sometimes they say things, shout I'm barbaric, that I'm savage, that I'm a feeble eater. But even if I wear a mask, people can tell who I am. I fear for my safety, but not only for me, for other women that look like me. They don't like the way I look, what I wear, and this is why they published lies about me. For anyone who hurts for me, anyone who hurts an animal cannot be trusted. This is sick. On the rescue, she said, I didn't want to leave him. He couldn't fly high to the top of the building. People said I should leave him, but I could tell that the mum was crying. This person's such a sweetheart. Like people that you can she couldn't just walk past. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a little bit like that. If I hear, I'm like, oh, like if you see a duckling struggling to get up a curb or something, like you go over and you help. It's what you do. Like, it's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, but I could tell the mum was crying. On that day, the man filming came out shouting in a really rude way, and I didn't like it. But at the time, I was focusing on calming down the bird, and I thought maybe he's just concerned. So I did explain to him afterwards, I'm helping him. I'm worried that he'll get hit by a car. They know I'm doing something good, but they cut it out. They lied about me. They posted it, and it went viral. And without fact-checking it, Tommy Robinson. There's this surprise twist here on this post. Tommy Robinson not deleting his post despite being corrected in community notes. She says he is corrupted and keeps lying about Muslims. And I think that's just, it couldn't be more obvious. Like anybody that he can weaponize, anyone that fits a certain profile or agenda of his, that, if he could paint them out to be representatives of an entire community, you're damn right he will. Even if they're, fancy that. They literally painted out the person who is in the Seagull Appreciation Society group as being somebody that eats seagulls. And if that was a white person, this wouldn't have happened. It's terrible, isn't it?
Well, Jim prompted me actually. Something he said in the chat. The other video that's going viral at the moment, the latest one, is it's AI generated, some guy apparently capturing a cat or a dog, and then being confronted by locals. Apparently he's a delivery driver for a local takeaway store, and it's completely the apparent animal capture is like AI, or it's like this, it's a completely different story behind it, and then they're just targeting somebody because of the ethnicity. It's disgusting. It's just really freaking disgusting, and I never thought we'd be back here again. I really didn't. It's gross. We're literally devolving, people. We're going backwards.
Well, I wanted to look at another story at the moment. That again is another sign that we're going backwards. This show today was mostly just the far right stuff, but this is the racist world of Hugh Hampton.
Just so everyone knows, I have a little bit of a history with this gentleman. This gentleman would like to send me home. I was born in England, but he wants me to go home, and his quote was, he'd send me back on the first plane. Back to where?
Anywhere. They don't care. And it gets, like only on X can you say this horrible shit that he's about to say, but this grifter, this full-time racist, he has been tweeting some horrendously outrageous and crazy things. And I thought about not showing them at first, but because it is so unhinged, but because it's so unhinged, I feel like I can't not challenge that narrative. And it also highlights how Musk's new ex is basically just a Nazi hellscape. It's just a misinformation machine where figures like Brit Fuentes, who we can see here, can spew their bile and their shit. It's terrible. There's 2 tweets that he's put out there that I wanted to have a look at, just because as well these 2 tweets would help you get the sort of measure of this individual and certainly his presence online anyway. During the World Cup, he went hard on his racism. He was going real hard on it. And it's possibly a reaction to seeing, lots of different people from different backgrounds from all over England coming together to celebrate the success of their team. It might be that triggered this, what would otherwise be described as a racist, allergic reaction, just this outburst that came out. It was probably that. But while everyone else was feeling love and unity, it really, really got to Hugh. And he claims that football is a white person's sport, which is just fucking insane. So football has never belonged to one race or one culture. It's, or one group of people. The sport has always been shaped by people from across the world, from players on the pitch to the fans in the stands, all of them. The communities that build the clubs, the traditions. Football is a global game, and it's always been a global game. I'm so sad to see this terribly anti-British rhetoric come out of this person. The idea that football is somehow a white person's sport ignores the actual history of the game. Some of the greatest footballers in history ever have come from a huge variety of diverse backgrounds, generations of players that have changed the sport forever. They've made it what it is. It's all of ours. It's one of the most egregious tweets you're going to see. So this is the tweet itself. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but it says, "This is wrong. Football is a white sport," which already the piece of shit dial is just pushed right into the red. It was created in England. The supporters are majority white. It brings millions to white-owned businesses, pubs, and the teams that played are majority white countries, apart from a few. It is a white sport. Americans do not understand. Fucking what an absolute disgusting and ridiculous take. Yes, that's right. Brit Fuentes. What's your thoughts on that, MT? That horrible, racist, violent, incorrect take.
It's called the beautiful game for a reason, and it's supposed to be so everyone comes together. These people, they just turn everything on the head, don't they? Every positive they turn into a negative. It's disgusting. And let's not forget, some of the footballers in recent years have faced some of the most disgusting racial abuse. Mario Balotelli was quoted as saying, "I think if I had been white, I'd have had fewer problems because of the abuse that he faced." There was another guy, he's really famous. I cannot actually remember his name. And even if I could see his name, I wouldn't actually be able to pronounce it because it's an interesting surname and I'm not good with names. But he was described as a very nasty racial slur in a football chant. And there's just Margaret Thatcher, actually, there at Hero, most at Far Right's Hero, created a war cabinet to stamp out, that's what she called it, the war cabinet. And that was designed to stamp out racial hatred in football. That was late
people forget that hooliganism was treated as a really serious national problem. It was a very serious issue.
International problem. So I believe it was Leeds United that was banned from. I'm not sure which. I'm not up on my football, but it was some finals that were happening in Paris, and I believe it was Leeds United that got banned from going because their fans were just so violent at the time. And let's not forget, at the time, but quite a few of the football teams had firms, quote unquote, attached to them that were there weren't just football hooligans, there were also racist thugs that participated in a lot of the racially motivated violence around the country that we were seeing at that time. And I believe the war cabinet that Margaret Thatcher created was created in response to a fatal stabbing that I believe occurred in Blackpool, a racially motivated stabbing. Yeah, it's disgusting that we're like literally back there and we're seeing an increase in racially motivated crimes and an increase in racism linked to football.
And now, thanks to the invention of places like X, it doesn't just like it amplifies that. It's not just a space where it can be; it's a space where it thrives. And like these tweets were taken from Hugh Anthony's own X account, which I'm not. I'm certainly not one of those people that says like nobody should be. I'm not trying to advocate for the removal of people's rights to free speech. I think that's such a misunderstood area. What I am saying is that X shouldn't be a thing. I'm saying that what we're seeing is this is outright hate speech. This is, I'm just the stuff underneath as well, just to clarify as well, like people thinking it's, just a comment about football, because just directly underneath that one. So I've seen so much race mixing tonight. Anyone that race mixes deserves to be put in jail. I'm serious. If I ever gain power, I will throw you in a cell. You are disgusting generous. That's this sort of inflammatory, racist, hateful rhetoric that is contributing to an environment where, I mean, like you're saying about the racist football, the racist abuse that footballers get, and how it goes hand in hand with like the rise in hate crimes and everything else. It's shocking. They are creating this environment, and for some reason,
it also got ties back to a few months ago. That bit that you did, I think it was a Hope Not Hate article, and you literally could not show the cartoon on screen because it was so disgusting. Do you remember?
The racial holy war stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and that was about racial mixing, and he's not even talking about racial mixing in the sexual sense. He's talking about racial mixing in the football sense, like grown-ass adults playing football. Like this, he needs, like, I don't know. He needs help. He needs help. Just looking at him, he looks ill at the moment. He's got bags under his eyes. The guy's in his early 20s, is he not? Late 20s.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
he's a young man, and he looks like he's.
I don't know if he's got his housing situation sorted either, but the divide with his family and everything else that he very publicly put out there, his own assumptions, but it's not healthy for a young man to have to go through all of that. And what's more is, I think that he should be helped, and I think that one of the ways that you can help right now, like in the immediate thing, is there's a role that could be filled by regulation, by I do agree when we had like Kevin on here, and I know that because once he said it, I was like, you know what, that's really based. I accept and agree with that perspective. I think that X specifically it enables people like this and their unhealthy obsession with damaging our society with their incredibly hateful and harmful rhetoric and demonstration things, but they get paid for it and things on X. Like X is the place to be if you want to push out propaganda, if you want to control the narrative, you want to put out false information, misinformation. X is the place to be. It's a Nazi hellscape. I think that I don't think X should exist in the UK, to be honest with you. I think that especially with young men like that, they should be able to have access to social media and engage with other people and build a career on there, certainly. But we can't keep having this this absolute disinformation machine that's foreign created, foreign funded, that's against the public interests, being allowed to operate as it is in the UK. It's fucking wild, isn't it?
It's madness. Yeah. I totally agree. I think that X should be banned in UK until it cleans up its act, and then. I don't usually advocate for banning things, but yeah, ban it until it's improved, and that sends a clear message to other platform like dun 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 Kick, where they're all running off to right now because quote they can get away with more over there.
And by that, they also mean money, because, like, you know, there's like a 95-5 split between like some creators and Kick and stuff, whereas it's like 70-30 on YouTube, and it's also, I believe, it's 50-50. Is it on Twitch? I'm not too familiar with Twitch.
Yeah, it's
Something
also
like
Kick's interesting as well because it's got a lot of gaming hooks built in, gambling hooks built into it.
Well, it comes from Stake, doesn't it? So it gets its origins from they have the same owners, the same founders, and operators as Stake, which is the gambling platform, which was, you know, heavily regulated against in lots of areas. So they created Kick, it seems. You know, it's just, like I say, it's the same people. It's the same thing that's, you know, and a lot of, like you say, their mechanisms and things.
Yeah, it triggers the same. It triggers the same dopamine reward systems as gambling. It does that not just for its users, but, you know, its actual content creators, but for its audience as well. So it's not just a dangerous platform in what it allows. Its mechanics of how it operates are actually designed to be addictive and gamify everything. It's quite it's quite weird when you look into it how they actually operate. But I think if the band put a temporary ban on X, that every month they'd review, and if they'd cleaned up their acts and introduced proper safeguards, you know, they'd be allowed to come back. It'd send a clear message to other platforms such as Kick to clean up its act and strengthen its safeguards and make sure people are safe, and especially looking at how it's using gambling hooks to
keep people engaged, and because we've seen that with like, I think it was like dating apps and stuff or something I was watching a while ago, where they were like looking at the practices of, like, I think maybe Tinder or one of them, something like that, and they were explaining how they're using the same sort of mechanics that have been inspired by the gambling habits of people, and how to keep people engaged, and because it's a very because capitalism, it's a very well studied field of like psychology and things, isn't it? And it's also used how do you say it, like commercially or like corporate in a corporate fashion, where they use those tactics to manipulate people and to engage in and keep earning them money. And so it's the whole idea of Kick and things is literally just to be, okay, then, well, if we can't get away with it on your platforms, we'll make our own. And it really is dangerous. And it's, you know, in my opinion, and I'm not speaking for everyone that streams to Kick, I'm sure there's lots of people who just see it as a platform, or use it perhaps to be a different voice in what would otherwise be quite a dark platform. But, you know, like, most people that are using it are doing it because it's, you know, the monetization side of it, and the fact that they can get away with saying all of the other things that they can't say everywhere else. And let's face it, this, you know, there's not that many, it's not that high of a standard to meet. So what is it that they want to do that they can't do on other platforms? So the next story, though. Oh, sorry.
Can I just quickly address Katie? I know that, Katie. I am completely opposed to 100% bans, though. So it creates a carrot rather than a stick incentive. They'll never clean up their act, but the ball's in their court to be able to, if they have like a rolling ban system, reassessed each month, they do have the opportunity to at least clear up. I know they won't, but they at least have the opportunity to clear up the act. I'm just opposed to the idea of complete outright bans. I think.
I hear that. I do hear that. I think it does sound a bit. It sounds a bit hasty, doesn't it? But I think that at the moment, in its current form, that's how I see it. I think that it's nothing but a foreign disinformation propaganda outlet that's, you know, that's causing serious division and disruption through really incredibly nefarious means, and radicalizing people. It's making It's making our society a more dangerous place to be, and it changes everything. It affects our politics, it affects our youth. So many different elements of society are being impacted by it that, get rid for now, at least.
Yeah. I think the second part is right. It's because they're so filled with the fascists and the racists and they're just absolute dregs of society that they'll never clear up their act. But yeah, they have to do something. They can't carry on like this. The X does appear to be the pipeline where all the different tiers seem to converge. They're all on their own little platforms and their own little paths, but somehow the tiers just, the lines between the tiers are blurred a lot more over on Twitch. There's a lot more communication between the tiers, isn't there? Like you'll see Tommy Robinson and even Elon Musk literally promoting auditor content.
Yeah, British auditor content, specifically like the people that we highlight and stuff as well. Like you will see that. And yeah, X is the place. So whether you're like, because X is obviously owned by Elon Musk, but he is also himself a tier 1 establishment figure because of his wealth and his influence and his proximity towards lawmakers and everything else. And he's established. I'm sure I don't have to explain why, but he is an establishment figure, of course. And he can, with X, he's created a space that benefits all of these different tier levels. So whether you're Tommy Robinson, promoting, having to apologize, I'll show this one now, having to apologize for the lies that you told, like this, whether it's that, you use X for it, but you can also share the content and the work of people like DP here, from tier 5. Then there's also the sort of like the fringe bigot people that are looking for electoral viability. I believe at one point he said he was going to stand, but I don't think he is now. So maybe he is a tier 5. But my point is that all of them use it. You're not wrong at all. They all use it. It's a place to network, to grow, and to radicalize. It's fucking shocking. And speaking of shocking, so I'm glad that I've got you on stream for this next story. I think that some of the wording that's been used has a lot of connotations in history, like not in history in general. I just mean there's some history behind it, especially some modern history, and I think it's really worth exploring. I will play you guys some parts from a speech that was given by Rupert Lowe, the very same Rupert Lowe from Restore Britain. Aim high, vote low, that guy. He talked about, he laid out his plans for how he would achieve mass deportation in the UK of what he says is millions of people. It involved hostile environment. I'm sure you're familiar with that phrase. And detention facilities for thousands. It also involves bringing back lots of former soldiers into current service in a police force, in what sounds like, at least I took away from this, an ICE-style sort of policing unit or addition to police. It's really weird. I'm just going to get the link for this now, because this is quite an interesting story. So
I suspect if it's something that he said, there's probably a trigger warning for the audience.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you for that. Yeah, Rupert Lowe. So he's going to lie a lot. He's going to try and scapegoat and frame certain minority groups. He will name certain countries and ethnicities as being chief offenders in imaginary crimes that he's thought about in his head and chose to say to everyone. I imagine that this will be, because I can't remember when this was. I think this was today actually, but. It was hard to tell because this was live and repeated it a lot. But yeah, so when the speech was given, I imagine now that there's going to be a lot of fact checking that goes along with this. For some reason, it's not let me start there, but that's where I need to start anyway. So yeah, let's and we'll break it down as best we can.
Taxpayers' money. ESG for mass deportations. Those who knowingly rent properties acquired. Those who knowingly rent properties to illegal migrants would face severe financial penalties, and persistent offenders would face asset seizure and prosecution. HMO owners who impose gangs of feral illegal men on quiet...
Oh, God.
Public officials...
It's horrific, isn't it? So this was on a bit of a loop before. I'm trying to get the beginning part of it where he discusses creating a hostile environment so that he can
knowing receiving any taxpayers' money.
So I suspect I think this is where it sort of starts. But yeah, you can already tell the language and everything else. This is just as bad as you think it's going to be. This is Rupert Lowe, full mask off, full fascism.
Describing people as feral, that is Nazi language. That is disgusting. Yeah. Horrific.
Thank you, Mr. Twigg. It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship. Firstly, I want to thank the 720,772 British men and women who signed our petition demanding the mass deportation of illegal migrants. A policy position that has moved.
I just want to, he won't clarify at all. And it's really important with language and stuff. He's not talking about, it's very difficult to be able to say what the numbers are of, there's no official number of illegal migrants that are in the country right now. But he doesn't mean Canadian backpackers that are overstaying their visa. I think that what he's doing is he's conflating illegal migration with the very legal act of claiming asylum. And I think he's trying to put those numbers together. So when he says millions, there isn't millions to deport. What are you fucking talking about? It's not. It's because he's going to say it, and I just wanted to pick up that this illegal migrant. I just wanted to, it's hard to know exactly what he's saying because he doesn't really clarify. But I suspect, based on everything that he says afterwards, that he's essentially talking about asylum seekers as well as Canadian backpackers that have overstayed their visas that we don't hear so much about. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I just wanted to get that out of there.
Yep.
From the so-called mad fringe to the acceptable mainstream in less than 2 years.
Thank you, Elon, for X. Thank you, all the tiers, for that. They've been working really hard. They've been dedicating so much time to shifting the window of acceptability to the point where the shit now spews in. It's, to the point where men like this can stand in halls like that and just discredit them with his presence. And his lies and his racism.
The bit this man, careful with my language, the bit this man doesn't mention is that this year the number of asylum seeker claims and the number of work applications and education application visas is down across the board on all sides. It's down. The only figure that's up is boat crossings, but it doesn't at all support the right wing's narrative as they try to paint that. What it says is that the Dublin 3 agreement was absolutely vital in safeguarding the welfare of vulnerable individuals that have links to the UK and have no choice but to come to the UK. It doesn't matter how many countries that they come through, they will not be accepted in those countries because they have links to the UK. So they just kept getting pushed on until they arrive here. And now there's no safe route for that cohort of individuals that would have previously been flown in to Dublin to be processed there and moved around the UK to where their links are. It's horrendous. And this is stochastic language at the very top. It's a manipulation of the genuine statistics and the politics of it's the politics of the Tories. This all started with Theresa May's hostile environment against the Windrush.
He said it. He says those words. I promise you right now. You're not wrong. You are absolutely. I'm so glad you're here for this. everything you said, in my opinion, was absolutely bang on, and it does connect so much so that you've just predicted exactly what he's going to be saying next, essentially. And I think it's really important as well, while we're talking about like Dublin agreements, Brexit, and everything else, that this man was once a member of the Brexit Party, and just like Nigel Farage, because he likes to try and pretend that he's something different from Nigel Farage, but just like Nigel, this man is an establishment figure who is one of the architects behind Brexit, and is one of the reasons now that we have people on the shores, which he is using, and creating this stochastic environment with them as the target, so that he can gain yet more political capital. It's unbelievable. You can't, I honestly, if you were to say that this is, politics 2026 is people have banded together, created a significant, humanitarian problem, like a real serious crisis that ends up with people, coming up on our shores, that's causing huge, profound issues across the country in terms of its perception that. And these people are hijacking all of that. The people that created it are now hijacking it and using it as an excuse to vote them to fix the problem that they created. It's almost genius, isn't it? How much of a, it's how much of a con this all is, but it ain't half damaging everyone.
It does. I just addressed someone in chat. It does actually go back further. Absolutely correct. You can track it even back to Margaret Thatcher and further than that if you want to. Margaret Thatcher, though, created a extremely damaging policy against migration. It was horrific what she did. But what I'm talking about is the type of language that is being used today, the type of racially motivated language that's being used in today. It can be every single trope, every single horrible phrase that they use can be tracked back to the hostile environment that Theresa May created, that Amber Rudd fell on a sword for, that Priti Patel and Suella Braverman perpetuated, even using the same language. So it does go back further, but this specific language that they're using now tracks back to Theresa May.
Absolutely. So let's hear some of this language now. Let's go on with
But the question is no longer whether Britain has a problem. We know the problem. It's been well documented.
Yep.
Now we need solutions. Restore Britain is the first and only political party to publish a comprehensive plan, not just to stop future illegal immigration, but to remove those who have no legal right to remain in this country. All of them, every man, woman, and child. They must all be deported, and a Restore Britain government will do exactly that. I'm not going to stand here and outline the problem. We all know what's wrong. I'm going to tell this Parliament exactly how we can remove millions of illegal migrants. As we have seen time and time again, deportation is routinely frustrated by a carefully designed maze of legislation, international treaties, and legal challenges.
By which he means the UK law, the British legal system, the international human rights conventions that we created, were part of creating and ratified within our said legal systems of our own domestically, and, with good reason to prevent, another Nazi Germany. Those are the legal challenges that he's presenting. He's finding it very difficult to remove people's human rights because of, those pesky human rights, man. They're codified into law and whatnot.
This is what, when you look at history, it's exactly what the fascists do throughout history. They try to get rid of any protections that the people have so that they can come in and do absolutely evil, atrocious things as dictators. The parallels between someone like Adolf Hitler or Mussolini are astounding when it comes to, and you just, when you look at them, when you look at someone like Rupert Lowe or Nigel Farage, you think, oh, how can anyone listen to them? They like literally look like they're like not dangerous at all. You wouldn't think of them two as being dangerous, like almost comedy characters. But then people used to laugh at Hitler as well.
Absolutely, they did, and it's really important as well, because sometimes when making that sort of comparison between the modern far right British scene and, you know, say 1930s Germany and things, some people really reject that, and they're like, oh no, it's just the sort of lazy analogy that, you know, people come to. In this particular instance, it's so damn related to everything that's happening right now. It's unbelievable. In fact, the laws and things that he's just talking about right now, and these legal challenges, were created because of Hitler and Mussolini and characters like that. Do you know what I mean? Like it's literally couldn't be any more directly tied into those events than it is right now. They're trying to rip up all of the safeguards that we put in place to be able to prevent things happening like that in Europe. And so it's very, very, very relevant right now. And the kinds of things as well, like you'll hear it. You'll hear it. You may even hear potentially. I'll let you guys hear it first, but it's something about camps and stuff, or centres and things. It's the parallels are undeniable.
Can I just quickly say hi to Bella?
Oh,
hi,
yeah,
Bella.
cool.
Hi, Bella.
How you doing?
And you've got another membership.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you got another membership. You're doing sound. Sorry, not you, me. I mean, sorry. I read you then. So we're doing sound. Thank you so much. That's really, really kind of you. Yet again, Michael, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. And to all of you smelly lefties, all of you, you're legends. Whether you're members or not as well, you know, you don't have to be a member to be a smelly lefty. All right, it's a mind state as well as a stench. You know, don't worry about it. So yeah, Rupert Lowe is about to explain exactly the conditions he will create and how mass deportation work under him.
Will repeal or amend the domestic legislation that prevents swift deportation. Repeal the Human Rights Act, withdraw from the European Convention on Human Rights, and remove the Refugee Convention from domestic immigration law.
Wow.
Basically, in order for us to be proper bastards, we have to remove all of the laws that stop us from being proper bastards. They're like, it's so un-British, isn't it? It's so unbelievably unpatriotic to be like, you know what, we want to be a certain kind of way, but that law is just getting in our way. Let's just get rid of it. Like, whoa, what?
It is nothing more patriotic than our historical democracy, examples of democracy, like the Human Rights Convention, for example, which, as you rightly point out, it was created after World War II to prevent another World War II.
To prevent people from being, specifically to prevent this, to stop an entire minority from ever being scapegoated for the country's problems again and being targeted in the manner that they were doing this. You got to remember when Hitler first took power, it wasn't all, or in the build up to it, certainly, like, a lot of the propaganda wasn't immediately just let's kill everybody and create these camps. What a great idea, you know what I mean? It wasn't any of that. It was all let's deport them, let's get them on trains and send them out of the country. Just you know, like literally expel these people, which is exactly what Rupert Lowe is doing right now, and it gets so similar to that rhetoric in just a minute. Sorry.
Well, it's not just about that, is it? Because our human rights have given us certain institutions, and without those human rights, we wouldn't have them. We would we'd be no longer entitled to an education. Kids could literally be put back into work. There'd be no age of consent. Like there'd be no hospitals would not automatically be entitled to having our health needs met. And we can see how much the health system really needs the human rights policies to back it up right now, because it's absolutely on its knees. But we lose all these institutions if we lose us human rights. And these fascists shouting that they should have the right to free speech, well, it's the first thing that goes. Hitler, when he took power, the first thing that he did is he killed anybody that and imprisoned anybody that disagreed with him. It was the first group of people that he targeted. The real socialists, that is.
That was exactly it, because a lot of people love to remix history and imply with fundamental flaws in any sort of like political literacy. They look at the term nationalist socialist and they're like, well, those guys are socialists. And it was like, no, socialists, coincidentally, were the first victims of the Nazi Party, of Hitler, the fascists. That's what they are historically regarded as, despite what they pretended to be. And they sold themselves as socialists so that they could gain all these works and all these people. And it was all drip, drip, drip. It was a facade. It was a lie. And it was, for some people, very obvious to see. And folks like us spoke out against it. And they were the first people to be squashed during, when they had to squash that dissent, because there can't be an opposition. And you can't have freedom of speech without an opposition.
Exactly.
It would also introduce what we call the Great Clarification Act, reaffirming that we in Parliament, in these buildings, have the final say over immigration policy, allowing Parliament to overturn court rulings that obstruct the democratic will on immigration.
This is why they had to get rid of the ECHR. This is why you can see now why the ECHR is such a problem for them. Have you seen what they want? Like, it's fucking it's so 1930s. It's like
that is straight up dictatorship language. That is straight up dictatorship language. Wow, unbelievable. This is why it's important that we start funding education, because what we have right now is we have grown-ass men and women who do not understand the basics about politics. They do not understand the basics of maths and English and the rest of it. But politics, it's important that we bring politics into school and start teaching people. I've heard people who are absolutely racist, constantly talking about migration, and then they say something stupid like, I don't know now about geopolitics. That's got nothing to do with me. I don't talk about wars, thinking that migration is not geopolitical. Like, these people are so
like they keep moving around from one place to another. And like, why are you talking to me about places and things and events? Like, fucking hell. It's because you've got such strong opinions on it.
It was I feel like that was ADHD intervention there, because I was almost about to finish a sentence with something I really shouldn't have said on stream.
Well, we saved you. But yeah, no, it's a fascinating take that people have, where and it really does speak to a genuine issue that we have. We don't have a curriculum that is tailored. Not a curriculum that the mass of the working class can access, anyways. Because let's face it, education is something that's that is being how do you say it? Like, it's a gate kept area, like it's being gatekeeped. What's the phrase for that? But no, there are gatekeepers of education. Like, it's not for the masses. Like, when we talk about education, not everyone can get access to Eton and Harrow and these places. They don't, they have to have the houses within the catchment areas, and those houses cost millions of pounds. It is really class exclusionary. The type of education we receive, just to compare it, is that we at some degree, and in high schools and things, you will get taught like a sort of economics type of lesson. But the real key difference is that working class has traditionally taught maths, and the upper classes are taught economics. You know what I mean? And that's the dynamic that we need to change in terms of education to be able to avoid this. History is so massively important, politics and geopolitics especially so, and like economics and how things work in the country. It's not a subject that I'm massively clued up on either, because I lack that formal education stuff as well. So I'm advocating for us collectively that the education gap should be bridged, and it shouldn't have existed in the first place. Why do they get to gatekeep all the education?
It's not just that as well. It's not just like the economic and math side of it. It's the get taught like the like Latin and stuff like that. And while we're all like, oh, Latin, blah blah, how's that important? Well, you can't really become a chemist or a doctor or all these things unless you learn these certain languages, because that's the like there's legalese, but there's also medicalese, and to understand medicalese, you need to be able to understand Greek and Latin and all these ancient languages that they don't teach us these days. They definitely don't teach them in state-run schools. And as well, the other thing about education, because it is a big bugbear of mine, the first time in history since the national state school system was implemented, for the first time in history, there's been a marked cognitive decline in the current school leavers, and it's a one size fits all education system. We have one national curriculum, and when it fails, it fails a whole generation at one time. So we've now got a whole generation that is cognitively less capable than the generation before the school leavers that are coming out now, and that should never be a case.
Yeah. No, we explored it once on the stream. We touched up onto an element of that. There was a story about like the reverse Flynn effect, and so like the Flynn effect was that, you know, as jobs got sort of like more technical, as you know, mathematics became like, you know, an essential thing, and everybody was learning it, and we had to, you know, software and like all of these new industries that, you know, are popping up. It saw a rise in IQ of, you know, the standard IQ across many places, and now in those same places, we're starting to see that sharp fall in it. It's really, really scary to see that regression, because it's not something that you can just be fixed overnight. It's something that's generational, and the impacts of which will be felt for a long time to come. On top of that, you've now got, not only have you got those educational gaps, but you've also got the economic hardships that are being handed to the younger generation. Look at the things that the quote unquote NEET cohort have to go through. They're not in education, employment, or training group. Like, it's now that, you know, they're going to be demonized, and they're going to be, you know, we're foretelling already of economic disaster. I mean, they're blaming them, but it's those people that are going to have to deal with that mostly. We're not creating, things are broken. The things are broken, MC. It's all gone terribly wrong.
I think the NEET cohort get a really bad rap, and I think one of the biggest fixes in that would be to, I know that we have this new system of paying for university education. I think all education should be free, cradle to grave. But if we can't do that, if we can't implement that system again, then at least make education, don't make it mandatory, but make it free up until you're 25. Give council estate kids the opportunity to go to university, because although the debt that they accrue is spread out, it's done in such a way that locks them into debt for the rest of their life. So if we at least make it free till the 25, kids that are just turning the nose up to higher education from council estates will at least try to be more likely to engage in it. And don't just make it free either, bring in proper grants again, where students can actually live off those grants and have a reasonable quality of life on those grants, you know, be able to afford everything they need for the coursework, but also be able to meet a little bit above their basic living needs. I think we all need a little bit of an uplift, and I'm not even going to get started on trying to fix the DWP, but yeah, we
won't get on that yet, but that is a huge problem that does need addressing. And, you know, the standard of living, I think, is the main thing there, not just for students, but for everyone. Is something that we desperately need to address. But you are right, and that is a perfectly viable solution. I wonder if that's what Rupert's going to say or suggest as a way to help societal issues. Probably not.
No. It is judges but elected politicians, held to account by the British electorate. But legal reform is just the start. That simply sets the scene for the most ambitious set of deportations ever seen. The real question is this: how can we remove all of those with no legal right to be in Britain? The answer is by making illegal...
So, first of all, what he's talking about doing, and this is important because, and this is just where it gets juicy, so probably be pausing a lot more, but like this particular thing here that he's doing where he's like, you know, let's talk about removing people who don't have the legal right. But what he spent the first half of this doing was, without actually telling you the subtext of it was, they're not illegal at the moment, especially like specifically asylum seekers. Like, and what we're trying to do is remove the laws so that they are illegal immigrants. Yet he's sort of preemptively describing them as illegal immigrants, even though they're not, they're asylum seekers. This is why I'm saying at the beginning that I feel like he's lumping that cohort into the same cohort as, like, let's say, Canadian backpackers that overstay their visa, because they're illegal immigrants. Asylum seekers are not. They have a human right that they are accessing. It's been codified into European and British law. And they are, because, you know, it's not their fault that people like this, that Rupert Lowe created a situation whereby they would arrive by shores and not, you know, be dealt with by the regular means and the regular routes that existed previously before we crashed out of things like the Dublin Agreement, you know, with Brexit. And again, if I haven't made it clear already, because of people like this, but like, it fascinates, you know, like this whole thing. I've kind of lost my thread a little bit there. You might have to help me out a sec. But
well, under this policy that he's trying to create, I would be kicked out. I would be one of the first people to actually be kicked out. Hugh Anthony would get his wish, and I'd be on the first plane out of here. I was born in this country. My mum was born in this country, and it would be the first two generations that would be hiked out. My children would be allowed to stay to start with, but then they would be hiked out. And when we're talking about people that were born here, generations that were born here, multiple generations of people that were born here being suddenly kicked out of the only country that they've ever known, what does that do to the countries that they've never been to, that they're suddenly being thrust upon? We have a completely different culture. In some cases, in my case, I'm quite similar to the culture where I would be deported to, but in some people's cases, they've only ever known our culture, and suddenly they've been thrust into a whole new legal system, a whole new education system, a whole new working system, a whole new system of national safeguards and national problems that they don't understand any of it, you know. And it's just these people, like these politicians that are using this language, need to be. I think the UN described it. The UN described it as having a. It was referring to the rhetoric regarding not the amplification, the way they demonized people of the Muslim faith. They described it as having a chilling effect, and it has. It's had a chilling effect. And look at us now. Look at us now, openly having politicians talk like this about whole groups of people. Sorry, rant over. Rant over.
Absolutely.
Just, this is my home and I want to stay here. Sorry. This is my home.
Absolutely it is.
As we call it, the hostile environment. No legal employment, no legal tenancy, no access to public services, no banking facilities. That single reform becomes the backbone of our immigration enforcement. Make life so incredibly uncomfortable and unsustainable that many will simply deport themselves. Employers.
And that's, you know, what do we do? Everyone's really poor and stuff, and things are going really bad, and, you know, people are in shitty conditions. What should we do? I know, let's spend a whole bunch of money, costing ourselves loads of money in the long run by making other people's lives, people who are working class, just like yourself, that are, you know, trying to just simply just live. And we're gonna first of all, we need to increase that group by making an entire legal category of legal status, make that illegal by removing your human rights as well as theirs to achieve that. And then, like, none of this makes any sense. This should be on the front page of every newspaper, being like, "Oh my God, what in the 1930s is this?"
Yeah.
Like, but it isn't. Like, this is just like the Overton window has shifted so much thanks to you know, capitalism.
All the things that he just listed, the housing, the education, the things that he's wanting to strip for people, they're all the things that we get under the human rights. So exactly as you said earlier, that he's trying to preemptively take the human rights away from, he's proving it in his own speech. He's like literally explaining it to you.
Yeah.
Oh, so like we're all a product of our environment, and I just wonder what environment men like that got brought up into to hold these
The
views.
shooting the dog in the woods with a shotgun kind of upbringing. Like, it's fucking, yeah. Like, when we were learning about Musk, like, I don't know if I got a chance to do that story properly last time, but I was talking about, I think that maybe actually we did, but Errol Musk and stuff. And then suddenly it kind of made me realize that, oh, well, Elon Musk isn't just like because we get lost in those sort of concepts, don't we, about people that are like, oh, well, that guy's a fascist, or that guy's a this, that guy's a that. Yeah, that's true, but also he is a product of his upbringing.
Yeah,
he didn't have it easy. You know what I mean? You can, when you look at his dad, I can only imagine. I'm not saying that I know anything about that childhood, but what I do know and is publicly available and based on his father, like, goodness me. Like me and my dad, like this, you know, we're comfortable enough where we can, you know, we had a bit of a thingy. By the way, he's having tech issues. But we're comfortable enough where, like, yeah, we can, you know, have that disagreement, and it can be a thing. And then, no, I disagree with you really passionately. And it's all right. Like, it's totally fine. Like, I got, you know what I mean? Like, you were saying he had tech issues before, and, you know, got a message being like, oh, don't worry about it, Finn, love you loads, kisses on the end of it and everything, you know. But some people don't have that relationship with their dad. Some people have, like, Errol Musk as their dad. And, yeah, I wonder what, you know.
It's not just that, is it? Like the private school environment, it's like the modern day Spartan child, isn't it? They're just, they're brought up by other kids. It's disturbing. It's disturbing. And the amount of abuse that we know that goes on in those environments, like, yeah, it's extremely strange. Like, it strips empathy. I feel like modern society at all class levels seems to strip us of his empathy, and it's
tries to, yeah.
Yeah, I think I was looking at some weird theory the other week that suggested that we're not living in a environment that is conducive to the human condition. Like we're
no, it's
living
not compatible with empathy, is it? Capitalism. They don't go hand in hand.
No, and I think we are at end stage capitalism. I think the US is a little bit further along, but this type of destruction of the human rights and the removal of things that we actually need, the destruction of like the infrastructure that we actually need, you know, education, hospitals, waterworks, energy, all those infrastructures that have been
all of the national resources, yeah,
actually decimated in the last few decades, are the exact industries that we need to start investing in now to renationalise as well, because that's how the country actually makes money. That's how we reduce taxes, by renationalising these institutions.
100%. And I think as well, when you spoke about like sort of like how far along we are from America and things. Remember, it wasn't that long ago that Trump created ICE as we know it now. This militant, this military-looking force that's sweeping the streets, and all sorts of people are dying and everything. It's the worst of the worst. Parents separated from children. But I think, and we'll let this play out for a minute, because I think that Rupert may also be proving your point about us being not so far behind from America. Because if he's our political future, then you know, it looks like he's imitating, America's political past, if you will. Like he's sort of emulating some of the decisions they're to implement here. So let's have a listen and see at the end of it if you can spot what I'm saying.
About immigration enforcement. Make life so no legal employment, no legal tenancy, no access to public services, no banking facilities. That single reform becomes the backbone of our immigration enforcement. Make life so incredibly uncomfortable and unsustainable that many will simply deport themselves. Employers must face real-time right-to-work checks. The gig economy, construction, hospitality and other sectors with persistent illegal working would face regular audits. If Uber Eats, Deliveroo and the rest are found to be employing illegal migrants, they will be fined, prosecuted and even shut down. The farce of young Sudanese illegal migrant men delivering spring rolls and pepperoni pizzas on mopeds in every British suburb will end.
I was going to let it play out just to get to the next part, but oh God, he's just so scummy. I have to interject with that there. The way he said it is like this farce of it. You're right, it is a farce because that isn't what, that's not he literally is like, well, Sudanese people, you know, they all work for Uber, they're all illegal. Mate, you need to relax. This guy is just, it feels like he's bought into his own press. I can't tell if he's just actively pushing out some sort of weird stereotype or if he for the sake of it intentionally, or if he actually believes this stuff. You know what I mean? Like that. As though he's somewhat of that stereotypical guy that's like, oh my God, and they all do this and they all do that. And you're like, a Sudanese person. Oh, you mean the delivery drivers? It's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
It's all very strange because I do know, I don't know I can't pinpoint the exact thing in the policy, but there's 17 roles that they encourage people to come and fill, but the really niche roles, specific types of archaeologists or really high level welders.
Key positions that we have low numbers of workers and people being trained. Areas where there's skills gaps, important areas where there's skills gaps.
But there's when they removed the Dublin III agreement and other policies that we had at the time and replaced them, they replaced it with superficial stuff. They didn't do the actual stuff that they need to do. So now what happens is someone comes in, they claim asylum, they get thrown into a hotel. There's a policy on the meals. So if they get meals provided, then they no longer get the full amount of asylum support. They get a reduced amount. I think it's less than a tenner that they get. But there's no regulations on what quality that meal has to be. And then there's all these weird little gaps where people, where they used to be able to get into normal work pretty quick, now it takes up to 2 years before somebody can get into work. It was down to about 6 months. So now what we've got is this system where when asylum seekers do come, I think, and 70% of them are ultimately accepted. We have a system where, and then more are accepted on appeal. But we have a system which actually prevents them from working for a much longer period. So we've got a group of people that have been forced into economic inactivity. And then the far right are moaning about that. Well, it was a Tory government that created that. It was the right that created that system, because before that we had a system where they could be working much, much quicker and integrating into society much, much quicker.
They literally, the Tories came in and kneecapped that entire infrastructure because it helped with their like, well, where are you taking funds from? Well, we're taking it from these guys, and obviously, like a lot of some of the traditional Tory voters, well, that's good enough for me, and so. Yeah, that became the policy where they would literally make economically stagnant people, force them into a backlog of like these hotels and things. That when that first came forward, it was lauded. Sorry, at the time as like I think the Tory party were. I can't remember who it was. Was it Swallow Brethren that first started using the hotel as a way to help the backlog from a problem that they created from kneecapping the infrastructure to what I mean, like to be able to gain money somewhere else and still leave tens of billions of pound hole in the economy afterwards. But yeah, the Tories fucked it all up, and they created this environment now whereby like all of the things that these people say are like, oh, these men doing this and that, and then there's like people here and people there, and they're economically stagnant. So do you know what? If you just let the process be the process and just let it work properly, like it benefits everybody so dramatically that it's like not an issue. And the only reason it is an issue is because standard of living and everything else has dropped so fucking low that they're looking around and looking for people to blame. And there's grifters out there. We're poor enough now. Society's poor enough now where like being a racial grifter isn't just for your sort of popular figures that were involved in like groups like the EDL back in the day. It's for actual, anyone can do it now. Like it's terrible, like the rise of grifting and everything, pushing the narrative, changing a lot of things. The rise of hate, all of it, shocking, isn't it? Terrible stuff. But I think that what we're about to hear next is where it gets proper crazy.
Government itself must lead by example. Every company bidding for public contracts would have to demonstrate strict compliance with immigration law before receiving any taxpayers' money. ESG, but for mass deportations. Housing enforcement would change completely. Every landlord would be required to carry out right-to-rent checks at the beginning of every tenancy. Those who knowingly rent properties to illegal migrants would face severe financial penalties, and persistent offenders could face asset seizure and prosecution. HMO owners who impose gangs of feral illegal men on quiet British villages will be prosecuted. Public officials who knowingly place dangerous and unvetted migrants near schools and nurseries will be sent to prison. Homelessness legislation must also be amended so that illegal migrants are no longer recycled through local authority housing systems, but instead enter the immigration enforcement process. We will not house illegal migrant tramps, we will deport them.
Oh. Can we just pause a minute?
Yeah.
I think he's got muted because he said something so heinous. I've actually muted him there because you didn't mute that, did you?
No, I paused him. I paused him straight up as soon as he said.
Was he not muted just before that?
No. No. I think it might have been on your end.
So I got, apart from that horrible statement that he just said there at the end, I got stuck on ESG. So for people that don't know what ESG is environmental social governance. It's what businesses, it's a set of standards that businesses have to follow, like when they've got factories and stuff like that, to make sure they're complying with environmental regulations for that area, reducing the carbon footprint, how that company interacts with people out in the social environment, and it's about how companies manage and are managed and held accountable. So that's the governance side of it. What he just said with regards to the ESG is really freaking disgusting, because he said that the same ESG standards, environmental social governance standards, should be applied to human beings, people. Like that is Nazi rhetoric. That is the language that led to I don't even want to say what they were, but the things that were in the camps, that's
exactly where it goes. We've seen the pyramid. Yeah, we've seen the pyramid of hate from that specific time, that specific escalation ladder, and what it shows, and how we get to events like that was based on those. And it shows us clearly, escalating through those steps now. We're seeing establishments here, figures dehumanizing people like at the very, very tip top of society. And the impacts this has, it not only makes a certain type of person feel unwelcome at the moment, but it also emboldens another type of person. This is stochastic as fuck, to say the least. But I think as well that another really big takeaway about his language and everything else is that I really am like, I'm 100% certain, in my opinion, that he is talking about asylum seekers as well, because he's, like calling them illegals and stuff. But this is in his head after he's read that policy. No, we'll make them illegal afterwards. We'll remove your human rights to make them illegal also, so that we can then, get these millions that we're talking about, which still even isn't like the whole thing from start to finish. This whole this is how he intends to create the mass deportations that he's been banging on about so long. This is almost like the logistical plan of it, So first off, it starts with the environment, and then it starts off with making it such an inhospitable, hostile environment. In his own words, a hostile environment for people that come over and seek refuge and stuff. And he wants to remove all of that so that they'll be all criminals, and then we could deport them properly. Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with you that this should have been, like this sort of ideology that he's pushing here is literal, like like it's directly parallel to Nazism, and the only reason it isn't directly is because it's 2026 and not 1930. But this is exactly what they were saying. Like, this is how it starts. Get rid of them. You know what I mean? Like, let's just like make this entire group of people. Let's call them illegal, even though they're not. Because our intentions are to make that dog whistle a reality, and we will criminalize these human beings by removing your rights too. It's like some sort of like Lex Luthor style. No stopping it.
Sorry. So this isn't the first stage. If we look at the pyramid of hate.
Of course. I'm sorry.
This isn't biased. This isn't just a biased attitude. This is the next level up. Like, this is the type of language that leads to genocide. It's like, I think this is stage 2 and stage 3 on the pyramid. It's like quite near the top, this language.
Let's have a look, because it's always important. I'll do a look at the pyramid of hate. And yeah. Ooh, where is it? So we will have a look at this one here. So this comes from. Oh, if I can make it bigger.
So what he is he's on step 3. He's talking about economic discrimination, political discrimination, educational discrimination, employment discrimination, housing discrimination, segregation, and criminal justice disparities. Stage 3 of the pyramid of hate. And then we're
one terrible election away from the top, aren't we? Really, when you think about
well, we're also
saying bias motivated violence. That's already a step that society has taken.
Yeah, we're seeing that. We're seeing that in the riots. We're seeing that in the crime statistics. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. How people like that are even in Parliament is beyond me. Like, there should be safeguards that prevent this. Like, there was safeguards that prevented this. The UN tried to prevent this. We tried to prevent this with our human rights. That these very same people that are at stage 3 now have been decimating for the last couple of decades.
Absolutely, they've been priming everyone to think that essentially the ECHR isn't a way to protect you from your government, as because as European citizens we've seen recent history, like the wars and things, which is still fairly recent history. It's living memory for some. There are still people that. But my point is that, like, instead of it being anything even to do with those events and how to prevent them, the safeguard that we put in place to protect ourselves from, because this could happen to anyone under any government, without those protections and without those courts and things that, and all of us abiding by that stuff. They spent a long time distancing it from its original historical and meaningful creation, and they've instead perverted it into, oh well, no, this is your enemy, really. This is why there's so many people doing X, Y, and Z. And you know how you're a little bit, like you're a bit on the edge, and you've been watching all this, all these different people throughout all these different tiers of the far right, and you've been seeing that whole crowd. It's like how like now that you've been primed enough, let's tell you what the real enemy is, and this is how you fix it. You remove your own rights and take theirs away at the same time. And it's like, oh, motherfucker, that's genius. No, it isn't. It really isn't. They think it like the ECHR, if you explain it to them. They won't talk to you about, most people that are opposed against it, I feel, won't talk to you about the sweat of like unions and things. They won't talk to you about your workers' rights. They won't talk to you about any manner of things that are within that, because it's not just about asylum seekers. It's not just about Article 2, and it's not about any of those one. It's about all of them as a whole and what they represent. But these people won't understand that. They just, some of them are just like, they've been so primed by people like Rupert Lowe and Rupert Murdoch at some points, I guess. Yeah. But Rupert Lowe specifically and Nigel Farage.
A Freudian slip right there.
It was, yeah. Thinking of media and all that other stuff, and fucking all the evil Ruperts. No, yeah, these characters are they're trying to intentionally pervert what is the ECHR, so they can take us further up this fucking pyramid.
Yeah.
And this pyramid was created, by the way, this particular model of it, I believe, was created specifically for the same reason that the ECHR is. And they ignore all of it, and they're ignoring how many steps of this they're taking. They ignore every red flag and warning sign. And yeah, but I guess it's people have been targeted in quite a way. There's a huge effort to radicalize people and to make people believe in the propaganda that comes out. So we'll finish this. Sorry.
I was just going to say that's a great point from Terry. If the auditors were genuine citizen journalists, they'd be out in Great Yarmouth now, questioning the people of Great Yarmouth at what they think of this dehumanising language used by their MP.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, oh, God. It's terrible, isn't it? But no, instead, what auditors do with Rupert Lowe's Restore Britain logo and his catchphrases, they print them onto sandwich boards, and then they go around arguing with people in the street. It's fucking citizen journalism at its finest. Do you know what? We could probably end that there. We know exactly where it's going and things. So he's talking about creating detention centres and things that would house thousands of people while they're waiting to be processed. Actual camps he goes on to talk about. He also said about taking ex-soldiers and using them to bulk up numbers of police to essentially create like an ICE type force, which is what I was saying about the mimicking the American sort of fascism and where it is at the moment. Like, and we're only technically, let's say the worst happens and everybody in the land believes all of this bullshit, and everybody in the land voted for a Restore Britain government in the next election. I don't know if he's in that position or whatever, but let's say that did happen. We could be in theory only one election away from detention centres for people of a certain ethnicity, a group of people who have been made suddenly illegal because their human rights have been taken away from them alongside ours. Like, we do live in very, this is why politics is important. This is why studying and understanding the far right is important, because of where it leads. So before we go, there is one story that I really quickly want to get to. It's the very last story, and I promise I won't keep it. And I'm going to be doing like a little Discord after party after I've had a snack. But take a quick look at this. This is probably, I mean, for some people, I guess you could call this good news, but.
This is my favourite story of the day.
Would you call this a positive story, MZ?
I would say this is positive spotlight. This has been a long time coming. There is enough.
Let's give it the proper intro then, shall we?
Yeah.
US as further UK charges take a total to 59. MZ, what's your opinion on this story? All your thoughts, feelings, reactions, all of it. Go. What are you thinking?
I think this is definitely a positive spotlight story. These absolute, I'll refrain from using that language. There is enough evidence to charge these guys. There's new charges being brought against these two. These two are stochastic as fuck, but in a different way. So these two are, their language incites violence against females, and as we know, domestic violence is higher than it's ever been. Numbers are beyond ridiculous at the moment. Sorry, I'll shut up and I'll let you play it through.
No, don't apologise. I was just going to put this on in the background. Carry on. You're saying what I'm thinking so far. Also, but what I do want to add is a lot of people have a go at me for my dress sense. Like, come on, what the fuck, man? Like, seriously, these manosphere guys, they got like, come on, man.
A very interesting thing. So the UK Crown Prosecution Service came out immediately as they were being arrested. There, we were getting announcements here about why it was, so that their audiences that have been weaponized do not do something crazy. I can't wait to see what happens. I really hope this. It looks like, with the announcements from the CPS, it really looks like these two are going to see the day in court, and yeah, I'm here for it. 100%, I'm here for it.
I'm gonna let that play there for now, and I'm gonna take a quick look at the article that it comes from. This is to the BBC. So controversial influencer. Oh God. Controversial influencer Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan have been arrested in the US after British authorities issued 38 new charges against the pair. So that the total charges now against the brothers are 59, said police. So the Tristan's charges include 2 counts of rape, 3 counts of arranging or facilitating trafficking, forced sexual exploitation, and the alleged defendant is said to have taken place between July 2010 and August 2017. The Tates have previously denied any wrongdoing, but they're being extradited. They will begin legal proceedings at the moment to be extradited to the UK, who are dual US British citizens. So according to the CPS, so the charging decisions followed a receipt of a further file of evidence from Bedfordshire Police to bring the total number of alleged victims in the case to 7. And that comes from Malcolm McHaffey, who is the head of the Special Crimes Division at the CPS. God, as a result, 38 new charges were authorised against the brothers, meaning that Andrew, 39, faces a total of 42 charges in the UK, and Tristan, 37, faces 17. God, I mean, this is it's a hole that I don't feel that they're, especially after the last one, I don't see how they're digging themselves out of this one. Like, there's so many charges that are being levelled, not just here, but there's also ongoing cases still in Romania. And this is just the first and best opportunity that, with this new information, that the police have had to nab them. And yeah, so much for Trump's got your back. Do you remember they were like, we're not going to jail because Trump's in charge?
Yeah.
Guess not.
Well, so Trump, he interfered with the British judicial system because when they fled deliberately to America, because he literally interfered and protected them from this extradition until now. But there's some really before we go any further with this story, I'd just like to remind people of some of the disgusting ideologies from these men. So Andrew believes that, and this was he was talking about a hypothetical girlfriend. He says he doesn't want her to have her own opinions. He also says, I'm an absolute misogynist. I'm a realist. And when you're a realist, you're sexist. He also said about male dominance, he says, any man will always be able to whoop your ass, rape you, strangle you, kill you, anything he wants to do. And then there's also, I will not read this one out because it's disgusting, but people should look up the famous machete quote of his, which he allegedly shouted during a physical assault of one of his alleged victims. Yeah, just what a lovely gentleman.
Well, a lovely gentleman. Well, thankfully, for the time being, at least, he is behind bars, and he will. It's very likely he's going to have his day in court, and that will be in the UK. So, if you didn't know already, Andrew and Tristan are on their way home. Do you know what's coming home? It's not the World Cup. It's these guys. On that note, I think that I'll end it here. I'm going to be doing an after party in the Discord, so. Yeah, I'll race you guys there. Let me get the invite for some folks, for anyone that's watching. Also, as well, when you do come into the Discord, if you're coming in from YouTube and things, well, which is the only place you put this, the only place the streamers at the moment, could you please remind us of your YouTube handle and stuff? Just let us know who you are, and yeah, we'll give you some permission so that you can see the full range of everything that's happening. Well, I say that you're not allowed to see how I make my streams, because I'm keeping that room to myself. I'll just listen. So, do you know what's coming home? It's not the World Cup, ACOB Junior. Thank you. On that note, thank you so much for joining, Pimsy. It's been a right blast. Thank you very much. And next time I'll be back. Hopefully, do you know what? I really, really, really need to go down to my dad soon. Sit down with him, have a good old tech session, and try and fix the microphone and everything on his laptop, because his phone, even though he's got his microphone, Linux is playing up and his phone is like, So that's a shame that he missed out on this. But I'll race you to the Discord, guys. Thank you very much, MZ.
See you all there, folks.
Hit him with the love and peas, I dare you.
Love and peace.